This is the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup game on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome inside McCarthy Stadium. We're in Wilkes-Barre, Luzerne County in Pennsylvania. This afternoon, it's the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup game between two schools who are just blocks apart. It's Wilkes University and King's College. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob I, joined today by one-time assistant coach for Wilkes and for Kings, Jan Secek. And Jan, as you know, you've been on both staffs. You throw out the records when it comes to this game.
This is a great rivalry game, Bob. These two teams this week despise each other, even though they're not even one city block separated. This is going to, it always, as you said, Bob, just throw it out the window. I get excited about it because, I mean, you can't help not to be.
Okay. Let's talk about the Cardinals first. For the first time since 2010, they're going to finish with their best record in school history other than 2006 when they went undefeated. So a good year here. But the offense goes as Jose Tabora goes, so they need him today.
Jose Tabora just set Wilkes' record at just shy of 7,000 yards passing. This year alone, he's had 14 touchdowns, but more importantly, he can rush. He has 6 touchdowns on the year. We just found out that Jaquan Shields is not going to be playing. He's their freshman running back. So Tabor is probably going to take a little bit more of that RPO, which will stand for him running the ball more. And we just found out also that Derek Nelson will be taking over the reins because Yannick is hurt since the Misericordia game.
Let's talk about King's College. They started the season 3-0, but they're going to finish with 5 wins, maybe 6 wins on the year, so a good year for them. They like to run the ball, and that means Jordan Downs, the best running back in the MAC.
In the MAC, and he's number 6 in the Division III country. He's done a great job, and I know Coach Narr is really pleased with this group of seniors, how that he feels that they have set the standard that's going to excel King's Monarch program to the future.
Beautiful day today, a little bit breezy, but the sun is out. So let's check in on the weather now with Allie Debicki from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
Hey there, Bob. Great conditions for the Mayor's Cup today. Wilkes at Kings, looking at sunshine across the board. Just keep in mind, still going to be a bit chilly as we head throughout your kickoff time for noon. Temperature sitting near 33 as the day goes on. We're only going to be rising into the upper 30s when it comes to highs, but plenty of sunshine across the area will help you warm up as we head throughout this time frame. This is a check in your forecast. We're sending it back to you on the field.
Thank you, Allie. When we return, we'll check in with Paul Grippy on the sidelines, and we'll have today's opening kick in the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup game. It's Wilkes University and King's College next.
You're watching the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup game on MyTV WQMY.
And here come the Colonels in their white uniforms with gold helmets. The King's College Monarchs take the field. Their gold helmets looking like Notre Dame with their red uniform. We are back, and here is today's national anthem. Our national anthem. The third member of our crew is Paul Grippy. And Paul, the last couple of years, this series has been a little one-sided.
You're right, Bob. Kings has won 3 in a row, and they have won 4 out of 5, but we might have to say Wilkes is the favorite today because they do come in with a 7-win record. But don't tell that to Kings. Last year, Kings was the underdog. They won that, 45-0. And then let's go back 10 years to 2009. Kings came in with a 2-7 record and ended up beating Wilkes on that day 33-16. So Kings has a history of upsets in this game, and the Monarchs are 4-0 at home this season. Today, playing for this shiny thing. Kings wants to graduate this senior class 4 years in a row, never relinquishing the Mayor's Cup trophy. That's what's on Kings' minds. Wilkes has aspirations to get into that postseason bowl game. This will be an intense Mayor's Cup.
It's always intense, and it has been one-sided, Jan, and we'll have to see. But like right now, you think Wilkes, with their better record, might be the favorite, but anything can happen, as we know, come this Mayor's Cup. So Wilkes won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so we'll see the Kings College offense. Desperito tees it up. Back to receive for Kings. Downs and Clark, and the Mayor's Cup is underway. Into the end zone goes Basella. Bill Sella brings it up to the 20-yard line. The quarterback making his first start in this season. I should say he started the whole season, his first time ever. It's Tyler Moore out of Elk Ridge, Maryland. He's had some nice numbers, John, over 2,000 yards passing and 18 touchdowns.
He really has come in to understand this offense this year and is taking a nice leadership role, calling those plays and making the audibles that Coach Narr wants him to do.
So the Monarchs average 24 points per game. That's 7th in the MAC this season. They give it to Downs, and Downs taken down quickly right at the line of scrimmage by number 25, Walk. So let's take a look at the offense for Kings. You see more Downs and Cohen. He'll be the halfback / tight end. The wide receivers are pretty good in their own right. Priscilla has 22 catches on the year and 2 touchdowns. Up front, Santiago's a sophomore in the middle, but they're big and strong, Jan.
They really are. And that last play, you saw big number 69, Trevor Brown from Old Forge, leading the way back there. There he goes again.
Brown leads the way.
So the carry, pickup of about 2, we'll call it 3rd and 7.
So Spacella got the carry on that. He can run the ball. He's run the ball 22 times this season for 87 yards.
It'll be interesting, Bob, to see if they're going to use Jordan Downs as a decoy, too, to see how they're going to respond, how Wilkes will respond to that.
Kings out of the air, 42% on the season on 3rd down conversions. They have a 3rd and long. Moore back, first pass over the middle, trying to hit Basella, knocked away by
intended for Basella. 4th down.
Algier, and Kings will be forced to punt.
The offensive line on that last play, they gave Moore a lot of time to throw. That was just a little bit behind, and you'll see this on the replay.
Joe Cargio in the punt.
He's going through his progressions. He's checking off, goes down. It was right there. And again, this game, the kids will settle down probably after the next series, and we're going to have a great game today.
The freshman Carcio into punt, averaging 36 yards. Back to receive, Derek Nelson. Right around midfield, so Wilkes should get good field position out of this. A low kick into the wind. Room for Nelson to run.
On the return.
An 8-yard gain up to the 42. And that will check in now on the quarterback for Wilkes. We talked about him in the pregame. Let's check out his numbers through the air. Jose Tabera, 1,700 yards through the air, 14 touchdowns.
10 interceptions. Again, he is just a great athlete. He just set the school record, as I said at the pregame, just shy of 7,000 yards in his career here for the Colonels. And we know that not having Jaquan Shields back there might mean that he's going to be running the ball a little bit more today.
Shields, who had a big game against Misericordia, is out of the game. Reed gets the start He's a freshman tailback, number 9. So Tabora in the shotgun. Play action. Has room, there goes Tabora. Stood up and still driving the Kings College Monarchs down for a 10-yard gain.
11 yards on the play.
You'll see on this that he does a fake. Really cool, calm, and collected back there, but this was a run the entire time. And we know that the Kings defense are missing their 2 inside linebackers, and Wilkes probably going to exploit that today and probably strike early, I would imagine.
Tabora's best run of the season was against Albright. He gained 91 yards, had a touchdown. But he will take off when he has room. Quick flip to Reed. Still on his feet. Kings comes in to make the tackle of a 3-yard gain. Let's take a look at the offense now that averages 31 points per game, 5th in the MAC. You saw Reed. Lazinski will be the fullback, the sophomore. Haven't seen him yet. The wide receivers, well, they're missing one of their better ones, Yannick, but Derek Nelson has come in. He's caught 38 passes on the year. And up front, we have 3 freshmen starting on the left-hand side, Jan.
That's a tremendous job for those freshman kids to get that kind of experience in obviously their young career.
Moore's pass is incomplete.
That pass goes incomplete. Trying to hit O'Donnell on the left side.
Again, rather unusual for Tabor to throw that into the ground. The wind's, it's blowing, but it's not that strong that would have sent that to the ground. And I was looking at the roster, and we saw that number 9 back there for the Colonels is also from, I believe, the same high school as Jose Tabora in Egg Harbor, New Jersey.
43% on the year on 3rd downs. Here comes the rush. They set up a screen. They have Reed. Reed gets a block, and he's got some room to run, and he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. 18-yard gain for Camille Reed.
This was a nice play, great setup. The offensive linemen did their jobs to get out, and they just want to shield them. They're not trying to pancake block. They just want to get in the defender's way, and that was a nice run by Reed.
And this Kings defense comes in ranked 3rd in the MAC. They only give up 24 points per game and 328 yards, total yards. Again, 3rd in the MAC, so it's a very good defense they're going against.
And they have 14 sacks on the year, which tells a lot about their defensive line and their pursuit and relentlessness.
Whitaker on the end around. Looking for a block to the end zone. Reaches the ball out. Now, was it a fumble? It was. They say he fumbled into the end zone, and Kings will get the ball back.
Into the end zone. That is a touchback.
And you'll see this on the replay. They go with the speed sweep. They flip it back on the reverse. They had people out there.
Yep.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened. It went into the end zone and out, and it's a touchback. So a big break for the Monarchs.
It really is. And again, we know that defense has a tendency to bend and not break. And that was just, I think, a college kid right there trying to reach for that end zone. And personally, as a coach, I hate that when they reach the ball out because bad things can happen sometimes. I'm sure Coach Drake right now is really upset with that.
Well, there is Jonathan Drock, who's done an awesome job in his 2nd year turning this program around. 7 wins this year. They're going to be headed to a Centennial Bowl if they can win today's game. If Wilkes wins, they end up 2nd for the Centennial Bowl. Big rush put on Moore. Wings it out. Incomplete into the flat.
Complete pass. 2nd down.
Najir Woods on the coverage on that play. Nice job. He had blanket coverage going. He's right on his hip, and he breaks to the ball.
Threw a little bit behind him, did Moore. So 2nd down on the way. Wilkes defense pretty good themselves. 5th in the MAC at 28.1 points per game surrendered. Downs on the little draw, but look out for Vinnie Werner, 280-pound senior, just wrapped up Downs.
Who has 43 tackles this year, solo tackles. And he's a really big guy, and he gets the job done up there for the Colonels. gets washed down, and then again, now he's on the ground, and he's still coming up. These guys, they keep fighting and fighting and fighting.
3rd and 12.
And Bob, we said earlier, this is going to be quite the game today here at Betzler Field.
Kings 0 for 1 on 3rd downs so far early on in this game. Moore to the sidelines.
Pass is incomplete.
Goes incomplete, and the punt team will come back on for the Monarchs. 10:18 remaining in this first quarter.
The Colonels put a lot of pressure on. They were rolling out to the left side, and again, the Colonels, the secondary coverage there, had them covered down tight where there was nothing to do, and that was actually a pretty heads-up play to throw that ball down at the ground so no bad things would happen.
There is Jeff Nahr in his 10th season here, the veteran coach in this series this year. Caraccio on to punt again from his 5. Another low line drive. Oh, a lot of guys around it. Who touched it first? No matter what, Wilkes recovered. That's one of those, get out of the way.
That's what we yell poison all the time. Get away, get away.
So let's take a look at the Kings defense this afternoon. Shelton on the outside, 31 tackles. 5 of those for a loss. The linebackers, well, there's a lot of shifting going on. Corey Wilson's in there. Mondo Salavanti out of Old Forge is out for today's game, will not play. In the secondary, Jared Horn, first in MAC with 5 interceptions. He's also out of Old Forge. So Tabora and company back inside Kings territory for the second possession of the game. This time it's Jeremiah Acker out of North Pocono, and the big tailback carries Monarchs for 8 yards.
You'll see on this play how Wilkes' offensive line does a nice job getting in. They have a little trap going on there with Corey Barron, the freshman that you mentioned earlier, Bob. That's 6'2", 310 pounds. There's a reason why he's out there playing as a freshman.
There's Acker averaging 4.2 yards per carry, a sophomore at Wilkes. Had a nice career at North Pocono. From the 32. Tabora back, has time. Goes out to the left side, hits Whittick. Fofana, and Fofana still on his feet, inside the 15 to the 13. 28-yard gain.
Flag on the play.
Oh, but there's a flag down. Let's look at this again.
Flag coming up.
Nice job. He gets it. He spins to the inside, which I know coaches don't like because that's where your defense is. But that's a great effort by that man out there trying to get that first down.
I gave him an extra 10 yards. It was actually an 18-yard game, but the flag is down. Stephen Keller is our referee tonight. He'll talk to his crew, and we'll get this down. There are your referees today in the MAC game.
Sideline warning. Wilkes sideline.
So it's a sideline warning, and the big gain will stand. And Wilkes is inside the red zone, where they've scored 26 touchdowns on the season.
The Colonels have been really effective down here. Again, I don't think they need to do anything super tricky at this point. It's early in the game.
Most of the offense early on here has been by the Colonels. An opportunity here to take the lead. Of course, last year they were shut out in this game.
And that doesn't sit well as a coaching staff, especially in this rivalry game.
Tabora all time. Over the middle to Whitaker. Whitaker dragging players, including Mikhail Butler. And as you mentioned, a little pushing, shoving, a lot of words going to be spoken today on the field. And we'll look at this one again.
And the composure is going to be the key. That's just a drag coming across right in front of the linebackers. And again, great effort there. You see number 20 coming in trying to punch and stab at the ball.
From the 9, Wilkes can pick up a first down at the 4-yard line. Draw for the quarterback. And planned run, and Tabor is in for a Colonel's touchdown.
That is a touchdown.
9-yard play.
Jose Tabora. 9-yard scamper for the TD.
They can get him going, it will be a successful day.
It's going to be real, and this is what we want to see happen. This is what they want. You just see all that was a quarterback lead up in there. The fullback comes up, does his job, takes on the linebacker. That was Joe Lazinski, the 6'1", 250-pound sophomore fullback that did the lead blocking for Tabora.
Tabora's 7th touchdown on the ground. We have an injured Monarch on the far side.
A perfect way to support the department. Give support all 27 teams.
So a nice drive, 4 plays, 40 yards for the score.
And mentoring opportunities such as leadership speakers, wellness
So here's
councils,
a look
and
at the
more.
Kings'
Support
schedule
the
through
Monarch
the season.
Athletic
Again,
Fund today.
they started out well.
Visiting
3
College
big wins. Then they lost a couple. Misericordia, very good. Delaware Valley, of course, the
Perennial
perennial power, right? And a big win by Alvernia, and a loss to Stevenson and Widener last week.
Well, the teams that they've lost to, Misericordia has been the wild card, and Coach Ross has done a tremendous job there. They had a great season last year, and they were counting on that this year. And Del Val, Stevenson, and Widener always are the premier teams in the MAC, the Mid-Atlantic Conference.
So they see the Monarch coming up. Caraccio, who's also the punter, playing strong safety. He walks out a little gingerly. So Justin Pollock is in for the PAT to cap this drive by the 9-yard scamper from Jose Tabora. Snap hold is good. Low kick is up and through with 8:05 remaining. In the first quarter, Wilkes takes the early lead, 7-0. Oh, beautiful afternoon for college football in the Valley. Wilkes leading Kings in the 24th annual Mayor's Cup game, 7-0, 8:05 remaining in that first quarter. So the criminology major out of Egg Harbor, New Jersey, gives Wilkes the early lead.
And right there, you just see it's just quarterback lead with the fullback just blasting that linebacker, and Jose Tabora and I said earlier in the pregame, he's also a threat. He has, well, that's his 7th rushing touchdown just for this season.
Well, as he goes, most of the time Wilkes goes, but in that Misericordia game, he got 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties in the first quarter, and they used a multiple of quarterbacks in that, including a guy out of North Schuylkill, Doug Weist, who we may see today, number 12. He led them to an overtime victory. You mentioned the Misericordia is the kind of the wild card in a lot of these games. There's a new rivalry in town.
It really has. Now, instead of Kings Wilkes, now throw Misericordia into it, as Coach Ross started that program 6 years ago from nothing, just like Coach Manella did here at Kings. They really have come a long way in a short amount of time, and now they can't just take it for granted anymore. And these teams, all 3 teams now, are really giving a lot of respect to Northeast Pennsylvania.
So there's a flag down on the PAT. That gave the extra 5 yards on the kick to Desperito, who just squibs it down. And Brendan Mozaleski is the guy from Old Forge who picked up the ball, and Kings will come out. So let's take a look at the defense from Wilkes University. We already saw Werner in there. Tarantella's out of North Schuylkill. He has 8 tackles. Snyder, 22 tackles. Linebackers, well, there's no better in the MAC than Bud Moyer.
Number 1.
Number 1 out of Tamaqua, 92 tackles, 6 for a loss, 3 interceptions. Probably the best, one of the best linebackers in the MAC. And behind him, Dylan Walk, Western Wayne freshman, going to get the start, number 25.
He's had a monster game as a freshman last week against Stevenson, one of the premier teams in the league.
Back to Downs, no running room at all. That Werner again on the inside. Stops Downs for a yard gain.
Right in there, you see how they're coming up. They're getting a little bit physical, and again, the chippiness that these teams have. Again, both coaching staffs are gonna have to keep the kids' emotions in check so they don't get any of those dumb penalties that, as coaches, we hate.
Kings has not picked up a first down yet. This is their third possession. End around to Basella. Ball's on the turf, but it goes right into the hands of Jordan Downs. Another third down on the way for the Monarchs.
Bob, you mentioned the player from Tamaqua, and there he was, Bud Moyer again, leading that charge in there, stuffing that on that speed sweep, doing a great job.
0 for 2 early on. Kings on third down conversions. Under 7 to play in the first quarter.
Let's go, King! Let's go! Let's go, King! Here you go, boys. Let's go!
4 wideouts in there, single back. Moore with room. Tipped at the line of scrimmage and just goes incomplete.
Tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Werner may have got a hand on it. We'll check out the replay, but it was deflected.
Setzi, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
For the Colonels, 4th and 9.
So again now, Wilkes should come out of this with great field position.
And we got to see if the punter is back in, because he got shooken up on that last series.
Constantino now back to punt. He averages 27 yards. He'll do it rugby style. Another low kick. Nelson touched it. Who has it? It is Wilkes. That's a low kick. That's a tough one to handle. He called for a fair catch.
First down for the Colonels.
Especially with the way the sun's out today, and the sun is right now in the Colonel's eyes.
47-yard line of the Monarchs.
So
He did call for a fair catch, and he went to his knees, and it came out.
Good job by Gilmore to recover that.
Bob, you mentioned field position. Again, this is another possession where the Colonels are starting on Kings territory.
Jeanette actually recovered the fumble for Wilkes. So on the first play, they go back to Reed, who's a big freshman, 215 pounds,
Reed on the carry.
5'10". You can see how big he is.
2nd and 10.
He's rushed for 3 touchdowns this year. The thing about him being at 5'10", 215 pounds, he's got explosive speed. And one thing, Bob, from the high school level that we're used to doing the last 13 weeks, just coming up to a Division III, is how much faster all of these athletes are.
Wilkes averaging just over 6.7 yards per carry in the first quarter. Not too bad. Tabora. He gets flushed. He's going to run, and he does. He tucks it down. Tries to get a block, but a flag is back right where the ball was snapped. Could be a holding.
Holding against Wilkes.
It is.
They set that cup protection up, like the tackles will kick back, get deep, get depth, allow the defensive ends to come up, and that forms a pocket.
Saw the holding, I think, on the right-hand side of the offensive line. So that will back up Wilkes inside their own territory for the first time
Holding,
this afternoon.
number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So Corey Berrien from Old Forge gets called for the hold. Goes back to the 42-yard line. But again, you see what Tabor is going to do. He's going to look downfield, right? And make a quick decision, and if he has room, he takes off.
And as I was saying about that pocket setting up with the linebackers dropping to their hook to curl zone, that's going to allow Tabor a lot of running lanes for him to pick and choose.
Remains 2nd down. Here comes the big rush. They hit the receiver over the middle, Fofana, for about a yard gain. 3rd down.
You'll see this here. There's a lot of pressure. Number 78 got beat on the inside move. That would be Shelton.
Shelton had the rush on the outside, Jan.
He did.
Number 5.
Yes, number 5 is the one that beat number 78 to the inside. Again, they got to keep their feet mobile, and that is a freshman left tackle out there.
Let's see if Wilkes goes conservative. Tabora, time, collapses, taken down for a sack. Jazim Letsom, his 2nd sack on the season, and it's a big one in the Mayor's Cup.
Coach Nar must see something, and his defensive coordinator is dialing it up from that left side, what would be the Colonel's left side, the King's right side, where they're just bringing that pressure, and he's having a hard time picking that up.
4th down.
Lets him, leads the defense over into their huddle, gets congratulations from his team. So now King should get good field position out of this punt. Vesperito averaging 35 yards. Nice high kick over Bacella's head. Lets it go, and it goes into the end zone. Bacella's lucky on that. But we have a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Two flags down on the field. Let's see what this is. Looks like it might be an illegal shift or something.
Even if it is against Wilkes, the only advantage they have to this re-kick is they do have the wind at their back.
They're going to ask Coach Nar, make him re-kick or get the ball.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They're going to re-kick it. They think they can get better field position, and Bacella is a good returner.
And again, now I'm sure they're going to adjust him. Yep, they put him back another 5 yards because with the wind. And again, he can kick the ball. Yeah, he's right at the 20 right now. So that's positive thinking on Coach Nar's part.
Nice steady win. I wouldn't call it real high, but a steady win left to right. So Alexander Desperito, try this again. Gets it away, high kick, Bacella can't get to it. On the bounce, he takes it at the 18. Sheds one tackler. Can't get by the second, he gets up to the 25, so no harm, no foul, around the same position they were going to get it.
Net gain of 5 yards, so that, you know, as a coach, we'll take that.
First and 10 for the Monarchs.
Okay, so Monarchs come back out, trailing in this one 7-0. Still looking for their first down of the game. They're only averaging so far 0.22 per play in the game. Under 1 yard per play.
That's not good in terms of statistics, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
They're trying to get downs going, but I tell you, Wilkes' front four has been up to the task. Only a 2-yard gain.
Well, Tarantini and Werner in there, you'll see this. They're just creating havoc. They are not being moved off the line of scrimmage, so Downs cannot pick a hole to go to.
And again, we're going to call 34's name a lot. He picked up the tackle. Bud Moyer out of Tamaqua was in there to take down Downs. RPO back to Downs, tripped up the line of scrimmage, and Wilkes is there again. There are no holes for the league's leading rusher.
And that defensive line, we mentioned Schneider, Werner, Tarantini, and Ritchie in there.
3rd and 6.
If you watch the film, again, I say watch the film as coach talk there, that you'll see that those guys are firing off and they're taking their 2 steps and they're just getting gap control. They're not being moved. And that makes a really difficult day for a running back.
So another 3rd down, 0 for 3 so far, the Monarchs are. Moore, the pocket collapses. He gets the pass away to Bacella, but way short of the 1st down. Only a yard gain, and we're going to have another Kings punt. Bacella's shaken up. Came down hard, looks like near the collarbone. Look at this one again.
On here we go. Ball's behind and low. And yeah, he landed. You can see that right on his collarbone, left shoulder.
Caraccio back in the punt for the Monarchs.
So Joe Caraccio, the freshman, shaken up earlier, is back in to punt this one away. Derek Nelson, again, back. And this one rugby style again, goes off to the right, and it goes out of bounds at the
Punt goes out of bounds.
42. So we'll take a timeout here. 1:30 left in the game. 7-0 Wilkes. And we'll head down to Paul Grippy in about now. I'll be reading to Paul now with a special guest.
Michelle Oliva, thank you so much for joining us here on the sideline of this football game. We're in the late fall now. It's time for seniors to apply, juniors start thinking. So what opportunities does Kings give high school juniors and seniors to come see the campus?
Thank you so much, Paul, for this opportunity. We do have two special visits coming up that are very nice for our seniors. One is on Wednesday, December 4th, that allows seniors to come for an 8 a.m. class, experience what it is to be taught by the King's professors and be with the students. It's a 1-hour class, and then they get back to their high school experience then after. We also have another opportunity on Saturday, December 7th, and that allows them to be with myself and the Director of Financial Aid for one-on-one sessions. So again, that is Saturday, December 7th for those one-on-one sessions.
All right, so the seniors are applying now. Is there a deadline for applications for the 2020 incoming class?
Yes, so the early action deadline is December 1. November is National Application Month. So the time is now, and we do have a great academic review process, but as well as a holistic process. So we want to give all of our future Monarchs the best opportunity for their program of choice, but as well as the opportunity to join the caring community that is at Kings.
All right, so come visit on December 4th and December 7th and get those applications in now. Deadline's right around the corner. Bob, King's class growing every year.
Absolutely. Thank you for that interview. We're under 15 seconds play in the first quarter. They do have to get this off. The play clock's at 2. Third down. Taboro has a lot of room on that side. Can he get to the line to gain? He does. Goes out of bounds, and that's the way this quarter will end.
Ends the first quarter.
The Colonels trying to break a 3-year losing streak to the Monarchs. They have the first quarter lead, 7-0.
You're watching the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup game on MyTV WQMY.
Well, they are bundled up, but the sun is shining, and it feels pretty warm
First
out
and
there,
10.
except for the wind. Thank you to the Kings
Number
College
49
cheerleaders.
of Kings.
Senior day here on
Second
campus.
quarter.
I should say we're outside of campus, but we're at McCarthy Stadium. It really is a
Wilkes.
campus,
Yes,
right?
It is. For everything that goes on here and the training facilities that they have here for the kids in the athletic training program, it is part of the campus.
Tabora hands it off to Jeremiah Acker, who breaks
Jeremiah
2 tackles.
Acker.
Gains 5 yards. So as expected,
Second
that
and 5
quarter
after a
pretty much
5-yard gain.
dominated by Wilkes as we look at this one again.
There you go. It's just an outside zone play. Acker just going, running, keeping his legs pumping. And you'll notice that the Kings defensive coordinator must see something, because on the previous play, number 4 for the Kings, Charles McCall, a D-back, came in on an outside blitz, and they keep attacking that side of Wilkes' line.
Acker
They've
again on
had
the run.
success on the run game off the right-hand
Close to the
side.
first down.
Is
Maybe a
1
yard
yard short from Acker.
Third
Here we
down.
go again. There's the
And
lead
1.
with the tight end leading block in there. Then they had that double tight end in there, number 89, wide receiver coming in doing stalk blocking. And that brings up, as Bob, as you said, a short 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they're 2 big backs that Wilkes are throwing at you today with Reed and Acker. They're both 215 pounds.
And they're quick. I'm sure Coach probably refers to them as thunder and lightning.
19th play in the game so far for Tabora and company. He's going to lay it out, and it's
Penalty flag on the
incomplete,
play.
but multiple flags on the field.
And you'll notice, Bob, again on that play, on the replay, you'll see number 4, McCall, the defensive back, coming from an outside blitz, putting a lot of pressure on Tabora.
Abubakar Fofana, the intended receiver, will be a 15-yard gain. And you know what?
Pass interference, defense, number 20. 15 yards, first down.
And in college, it's not a spot foul, so foul, I should say. So sometimes it's okay to get a penalty like that.
Again, you never want to get beat deep, and if it's only going to cost you 15 yards compared to 6 points, it's worth it.
So Wilkes on the move again. They've had the ball every possession in the game at one point on the Kings Monarchs side. Here comes the blitz from the outside. Tabora keeps it. Shifty through, has a first down and more. To the 10. 15-yard gain, Jose Tabora.
They run the RPO on that, the run-pass option, and you see he's just holding on to it. Acker does a nice job, and then he just pulls the ball. Tabora getting downfield. We thought today might be his day in terms of running, and he's showing us that he can do both, running and passing.
We have a flag down right at the 10. Let's see what this call is.
Personal foul, 55.
Oh.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul.
So Zabala, 55, the left tackle, personal foul. Let's see if we can see anything.
15-yard penalty against Wilkes. Back to the 25-yard line.
No, I don't.
It is
No.
first and 10.
Oh, right there.
Right there.
Right in,
Yep.
came in from behind.
Yep. Took down Shelton from behind.
And Zabala, I know he's a freshman, but it's not his first game starting, and he knows better than that. And that's just the stuff that really where players can get injured when you don't see it the blind side or getting pushed from behind like that.
So instead of the first down at the 10, it's back to the 25 where Tabora started that last run. So counts as a first down. Tabora back, has time. This sideline that we're on and Kings wanted a hole. I don't see a flag down. The ball goes out of bounds.
And they're screaming for it, and I think what prompted that was you'll see actually the jersey being, you actually see the mesh right there being stretched. That was number 53, Vincent Rogers, that accounting major that got away with one.
Yeah, he was doing it against Izu Mosey, the 275-pound junior. He wanted the call, but it comes up second down now. Tabora, RPO gives it to Acker.
Acker on the carry.
Stutter step and through and up for a nice gain.
Boy, Acker's gonna be
Near
close to
the first down, probably about a yard short.
This is nice job with the RPO. They do, and you see number 79 is leading. It's like a power RPO right there with Corey Barron. 310 pounds coming down the line at you.
For the 16.
Acker 5 carries, 27 yards so far in the game. Tabora is the leading rusher. Acker again, big push from the right side. Has a first down inside the 15.
Again, they go with the same play that just got them down there, that 9 yards.
And Acker's down. Shaking up on the play.
I'll have to come out now. You'll see the 79 is folding around again, and he's just picking up that linebacker in there, number 47, Mozaleski, on that. And that's kind of a mismatch, 310 and 200. So.
And former teammates.
No,
at
are they
Old
really?
Forge.
What?
Barron went to Old Forge, and so did
Oh, that's
Mozaleski.
right. How about that? I'm sure.
Former teammates.
I'm
with
sure
the Blue
Coach
Devils.
Schuback was probably going, all right, who do I root for on that one?
So a first down. Clock will start to roll. About 12 minutes left in the second quarter. Wilkes trying to add on to their lead. Back to Reed. The freshman tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Shelton in there on the call, on the play, and along with Wilson. So good stop from Kings. They need to hold Wilkes out of the end zone.
They do. If they don't want this game to get away from them right now. And we know that Wilkes is going to get the ball to start the third quarter, so they don't want to give up one now and then have potentially another drive to start the second half.
Oh, good play on the inside, shooting in. Is that Mozeleski? It's 49.
49 is
It's
Dallas
Solomon.
Solomon from Freeland, Pennsylvania.
From Hazelton.
Dallas Sullivan made that.
They did a nice job on that. Kings did a great job. Wilkes' offensive line did the outside zone where the entire offensive line is all stepping in the same direction. This time it was to the right, and they were able to get through the gap and drop him for a loss.
Third down, Wilkes going into the win. Let's see if that makes any kind of decision easier for Coach Drock, whether he'll get a field goal if they don't make it. Tabor with time, shoots out, keeps it, and is taken down after a short gain.
Fourth down and long.
Is that Caraccio coming up 25, I believe, who took down Tabora?
You'll see this. Great job by the Monarch secondary for that coverage sack, forcing Tabora to run. And that's number 25 on the stop.
Caraccio, the freshman, makes a beautiful tackle on fourth down, and I don't see a kicker in there. Again, into the wind they're going. It would be just about a 37-yard kick. So Tabora and company were going to go for it on fourth down. 14 of 20 on the season. They have a 70% chance of making this. Tabora, here comes the big rush. Ball's on the turf. Still down and picked up. Picked up by a Monarch. Kings recovers the fumble up to the 27-yard line.
Number 41 right there.
Colin Hazelton out of Mid-Valley.
Hazelton on the recovery.
Nice job in there. I'll tell you what, Bob, we said at the beginning of pregame that this game, throw out the records. These two teams came to play today, and the Monarchs right now are playing really steady in terms of defense. The offense has to start doing something.
That's exactly it. They've run 12 plays, Coach, and just 7 total yards.
That's
so the defense doing their job. Now can the offense, here you see the turnover belt. Can the offense get going now for the Monarchs after that big stop? Moore over the middle to its tight end. Oh, had him open.
A tight end pop. It's always a great neutralizing type of play because you don't expect it, and that's got to be thrown better. Brandon Cohen was the intended receiver on that.
Cohen has 34 catches on the year. He leads the MAC for tight end in catches.
And
he had him. He just overthrew it.
He overthrew.
Of course, Tyler Moore taking over this season. Has started every game. Flag down.
There is a flag on the play.
Pass is caught
Pick up about
by
4.
Joel Whitaker. Let's see what the flag is, though. Coach Narr looking on. Kings pleading their case. Schwartz, number 67.
6'4", 274 pounds. You might want to listen maybe to him.
Well,
maybe.
Stephen Keller, a referee, going to talk it over with his crew, clarify the penalty, and we'll get the call from Mr. Keller after he talks to Coach Narr.
Illegal formation, offense, I'll get you.
And Coach Narr wants an explanation on that. Didn't see the formation there. Maybe it was someone off the line of scrimmage or somebody covered up.
There would have been probably covered up if they're saying illegal formation.
Second down. 15.
I'm sure Coach Narr got the explanation, not what he wanted to hear, but there's nothing you can do. There's no replay on this, and there's no recourse that he can do other than let's go. Get the next offensive play dialed in, and let's get that first.
Well, that doesn't help a struggling offense at all.
No.
First and 15 from the 22. More time. Completes it. Let's see if the referees do. It might have hit the turf. It did not. Nice catch by Whitaker. Coming back for that. Gain of almost 10. Yeah, right around 10.
He and the Colonels dialed up a blitz on that, and the offensive line did a nice job picking it up. No, it wasn't even close. Nice job.
12-yard gain to the North Penn Mansfield product. The junior catches his second catch on the season. Back out to Constantino, and he picks up first down, first one of the game for the Monarchs. Looks like they'll move the chains. They will.
First down, Kings.
It's what Kings needed right now, just to get that first down. The ball thrown perfectly. It was right there. He was shielding it from the defender, and he got the first down.
Kings missing their leading receiver, but Gabe Bacella's out. Don't see him on the field. He has 46 catches coming in. Remember, he got injured.
Landed on that left shoulder.
Yeah, the left shoulder, yeah. Back to Downs. He has running room. Hurdles a player. And hurls for 9 yards.
We're about 9. Short down.
That was a tremendous effort by that young man to get this team going. Just go with the outside zone.
A Monarch lead.
Bloop. I know who he hurdled, but that's good awareness.
It was.
So after their first down, back to Downs. He has a hole. Another nice gain for Jordan Downs inside Colonel territory.
46-yard line. First down, Kings.
Gain of 7. Coming at
Here
you.
we go, right there. Hey, if it works, we're going to come back to it, especially when you have the MAC leading rusher in there. Just keep feeding them the rock.
Kings on the move after the defense picked up a fumble on 4th down from the Colonels. Fake. They're going to go to a fly. Constantino went inside. The ball went downfield. No flags down.
Second down.
Jeff Nahr complaining to the referees.
The only thing in the difference of high school and college, though, they're going to say it was an uncatchable ball.
Intended for Constantino.
And Coach Nahr, I mean, again, he's going to work the officials, and he knows the rules. And again, the Monarch faithful is looking. They saw there was contact as the ball was in the air, but it was uncatchable.
Back to Downs, right side. Room, nice spin by Jordan Downs.
For the first down.
Another first down for the Monarchs, gain of 10.
Jordan Downs on this play again. Here we go. Outside zone. They do a nice job locking up, and that is why he's the conference leading rusher. He's got something to him. He's got that what they call that it factor. He just has it.
More on the tackle. This offense in a rhythm now. Play action again to Constantino over the middle. Constantino to the 15. 20-yard gain.
The Monarchs are now starting to get into a rhythm here. They had some nice first downs from Jordan Downs, and they go with the fake with him, which freezes that linebacker. They have to respect him, so they're not going to bail out to their hook to curl zone, and that's why that was so open on the inside.
Downs on the carry.
Downs again, finding room. The offensive line doing a better job in the second quarter. Picks up 6.
He looked like he was going to try to stutter step in there a little bit, but he just decided, let's keep it going. You'll see it right coming up right there. Looked like he was going to, maybe, I don't know if he's going to leap or stutter step there. That makes it really difficult for a defender to try to tackle a running back who is elusive like that.
This time Moore keeps it on the RPO inside the 10, close to the line to gain for a first down. I think he's going to be about a yard short.
He might be about a yard short for the first down.
It will be third down. Kings for the first time inside the red zone. And on the season in the red zone, they've scored 17 touchdowns, or 24 of 39.
Third down and a 1 from the 9.
Wilkes on the other side has given up 20 touchdowns. Down, shifty, In for a Monarchs touchdown.
They go with that inside zone on this play, Bob. They make it look like it's going to be that outside zone, and he just cuts back to the inside because the linebackers flowed out really quickly, and that allowed Jordan Downs to gain another touchdown to his career.
You can tell when this offense gets going, Coach, they really get in rhythm.
They really were, and they're using Jordan Downs. Like I said, that pass was set up because of the fake on the inside.
To Monty. The extra point is up and good. We are tied in the 24th annual Mayor's Cup. It's 7-all, 4:36 left in the half.
Okay, we're almost near halftime, but it's still in the second quarter, and I'm joined by a young lady who is a student, a junior at Wilkes University. Kirsten Peters joins us, and she's a communication major. You have such great facilities and a terrific major at Wilkes, the Carambellis Media Center. What goes on there? What's that facility like? What does it offer you?
That facility has a ton of opportunities. We have all 5 of our co-curriculars there. So we have the newspaper, The Beacon, which I'm a part of, the TV station, which I'm a part of, the speech and debate team, which has won numerous awards, WCLH radio on 90.7 FM, and then we've got Zebra Communications, which is our PR agency.
So what things are you doing there to help you learn?
I am actually covering the game today. I'm working for the newspaper. I'm the sports editor, and I'm here covering, writing the article, doing photos. Ben, my fellow sports editor, he's out there actually playing. And then I am the sports director and an anchor for the TV station.
Okay, so this will be a future TV personality
Yeah.
in the area, but everything's available, TV, radio, all that print, everything at Wilkes, right?
Yes, everything. You can get a hands-on experience with anything that you want, and I actually think it's really great because you get to find out what you do and what you don't like. In high school, I didn't have a TV station, I only had a newspaper, so when I came to Wilkes, I knew that I wanted to try that out, and then I got to experience that, and I know that's something I definitely want to do.
All right, so let's practice your toss. Why don't you toss it back to Bob?
Hi, Bob. We're going to toss it back over to you.
That was professional.
That was, Paul. She might take your job. Look out. So on the kickoff, this guy's dangerous. It's Nate Whitaker. He has a touchdown this year on special teams, but Kings does a nice job recovering from him. I see Paul's family in attendance today. No, I'm just kidding. Paul and I are friends. Don't worry.
The ball will be at the 41-yard line.
I'm glad the students get into the game, though, because, you know, no matter Division 2, 3, 1, 1AA, whatever you call it now, at least the student body comes out and supports their team.
And they have a lot of fun with it. And again, it's a very chilly day. We saw that they had the topless Monarchs out there sporting the red and yellow of Kings written on their chest.
They recap the drive from Kings, 11 plays, 73 yards, 5:02 off the clock. And it all started with the defense, and the defense has Jose Tabora again. Huge loss. Back to the 20-yard line, loss of 11 yards.
Well, Kings defense, again, their secondary is playing really well, and that's another coverage sack for him. Tabora had time. He steps up in the pocket, gets hit once. He's rolling around trying to find it, but there was nowhere for him to throw the ball.
Well, Zaleski on the initial hit. Looks like Korzinski picked up the sack, and second and long now facing this Wilkes offense, which dominated the first quarter, but just able to put 7 points on the board.
Korzinski on that tackle and sack.
Nice hole for the freshman Reed. Shoots up
Reed on the carry.
for about 6, brings up third down and long.
On this play, they just outside zone, just a quick hitter.
15.
And we talked about the total yards, coaching. 12 plays for 7 yards for Kings prior to that drive. Suddenly now we're looking pretty even. 27 plays for Wilkes, 109 yards, 23 plays and 85 yards for Kings. What 2 quarters can do in a Mayor's Cup game. Tabora chase, nice arm, goes downfield into double coverage, and it's picked off. Big interception by, looks like Jared Horn, the leading interception player in the MAC, and he's shaken up.
This is a case of a quarterback just trying to make too much happen, put it on his shoulder, kind of underthrew that. You can see he really wasn't set, and then it throws into double coverage. Looked like he was grabbing at his knee. I hope it, you never want any of your players hurt.
We still haven't seen Gabe Lucello got shaken up early in the through the first quarter.
Yeah.
He was shaken up. And
You
Horn
see it
comes
right
down.
there, and I think it was when he landed. It looked like it was on his left knee, and he's grabbing at it. He's in great hands here at Kings. Greg Janik's been here ever since I can remember, and he's done a great job with the ATC program here. Aaron has been his longtime assistant. These guys will always make sure that the players' health and safety is the #1 factor.
Well, momentum has certainly shifted after the big defensive stand. Midway through the second quarter, and on 4th down, Kings recovered a fumble. And that set the offense in gear, and you can feel it just shift at that point.
And then Downs took it upon himself to make things happen. They started with that hurdle, and then just how he showed how tough he can run.
So the former Old Ford standout limps off the field, doesn't want any help. He gets the turnover belt. He's going to come over to the bench after the INT, and he'll show off the turnover belt, I think, in a second. He's not feeling any pain yet.
Not yet. And you know what? That's what the team needed. That's what the Monarchs need if they want to try to knock the Wilkes Colonels out of that ECAC or the Centennial MAC Conference
Bowl.
game.
Yep. Wilkes, of course, has to win it. They can be knocked out if they lose. There's a
They
lot
still will
going
go
on.
to
The
ECAC.
game with Widener and Delaware Valley today. What happens with that? So back to Downs. Oh, it's a flea flicker. Back to Moore, and he didn't have it. It's picked off. Intercepted by Wilkes.
Number 25. Carrecchio again.
Nope. Dylan Walk.
Oh, Dylan Walk.
Yep.
Oh, no.
So Walk, his first interception, the freshman out of Western Wayne. There you see the flea flicker, Coach.
Here it is. The flea flicker comes. He wasn't set. Dylan Walk, when he played for Western Wayne, was a tremendous asset for the Tigers out there. Last week, Dylan Walk had 10 solo tackles, forced a fumble, and a pass breakup against Stevenson. And Stevenson is probably, I think, number 1 or 2 in the MAC conference right now. So he proved that he can play Division III football.
I think Moore's hand got hit. It was a wobbly pass. I think somebody got a hand in there. So Wilkes has great field position now. After King scored, no gain on the play for the freshman Reed, and we're under 2:30 to play. Both teams have their full allotment of timeouts. That's 3. So an opportunity for Wilkes to keep the ball, maybe score, and then they get the third quarter kickoff.
To start.
So could be a 2-score opportunity.
Well, King's defense, though, has gotten much better, obviously, in the second quarter. Their secondary coverage has been good all game.
DeBoer back, going to go down to the left side. Has a receiver. It's caught, but it's out of bounds.
Out of bounds. 3rd down.
He had Whitaker for a moment. He might have underthrown it.
And again, they pump fake on this to try to get those defensive backs to bite on it. They had good coverage. He had them beat by a step, but it was just a little bit underthrown.
So another 3rd down opportunity. Colonels 4 of 7 on 3rd downs this afternoon. Maybe this 2 downs to get the 1st down, you think, at this point?
Well, after that last drive, we saw that coach he's not afraid to go for it. I would say this is his 2-down territory.
Got to keep your eye on Tabor, and there is the timeout. First timeout taken by the Colonels. 1:49 left in the half. We'll stay right here. Well, an interesting fact is Kings is 0-3 when their opponent outgains in a contest this year. They're 5-1 when gaining more yards than their opposition.
Huh.
So after that first quarter, you're
thinking going, no, it's not no go.
No go, but suddenly they're catching back up.
Slow to start, and again, this second quarter has been all Kings. First quarter obviously was the Colonels. Bob, by the time we get to the fourth quarter, who knows? These two, I'm telling you, you could just sense that anything is going to happen at this game. the coaches are going to have to keep those kids in check, because a couple times I've seen a little pushing, shoving, and the jawing going, and you don't want to ruin the drive with a stupid penalty like that.
And Kings has a couple of their key players shaken up, Osella and Horn.
And they're inside the tent here at Monarch Field, so we really can't see what the status is of those players.
3rd and 9.
Wilkes will put Nate Whitaker, the wide receiver, next to Tabora in the backfield. Here comes the blitz from the outside from Kings. They pick it up. Tabora can shed 1 and 2 tackles. Makes a spin, and he's going to pick up a big Colonel first down up to the 18-yard line, gain of 11.
First down, Colonel.
Huge run from the senior.
It's less than 140 now. Clock is running. They don't wait for the sticks. Once the official gives it, they start it. They know where the mark is.
We have a shaking up Monarch now.
That's Shelton,
Yep.
defensive end.
Comes off on his own accord. That's good to see. Clock stops. Just about 90 seconds left in this half. This could be a huge momentum swing no matter what happens on this possession going into the second half.
It will be. It will be the difference in the game right now, Bob.
So Acker next to Tabora. 3 wideouts on the right. Quarterback sneak.
Quarterback draw.
Kings is there.
There to bring him down.
Gain of 5, maybe 4.
Still a good pickup.
Clock still rolling under a minute.
Second down.
Wilkes with 2 timeouts left.
And 6.
On that play, I would imagine that coach, he says, you know what? They have those rookie linebackers inside. Let's try to attack inside. And having number 49 lead block for you, I'll tell you what, 215 pounds coming at you, Acker. You know he's going to blow up one of those linebackers.
2 tight ends set.
Tabora back to pass.
Tight ends crisscross. They go over the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Whitaker. He had the ball, and it would have been 1st and goal. Instead, it's 3rd down.
That ball looked like it was low to the outside.
3rd down.
See it on the replay. Yeah. It was
Catchable,
behind.
though,
It was
don't you think?
catchable. It was behind. It wasn't as low as I thought it was.
Clock stops now, 26 seconds left. So Wilkes doesn't have to use their timeout. But they have a 3rd down coming up. A big 3rd down now for both teams. Wilkes 5 of 8 on 3rd downs this afternoon. Here comes the rush. Tabora has a lane. He has room, makes a move, and he easily goes in for a Wilkes touchdown. Jose Tabora.
14-yard scamper. Jose
He is the
Tabora,
difference so far
touchdown
in this
Colonel.
game.
That 14-yard scamper, as we just heard over the PA system, he makes this look very easy. He's just very smooth, makes a couple juke moves right there. And again, number 2 outside, all he did was stand there, and then it was enough. That was, that was Fofana out there, the outside receiver. All he did was just get in the D-back's way.
So Wilkes converts the interception into points.
Justin Pollock's kick is up.
And the kick is
It is good.
up by Justin
Score,
Pollock.
Wilkes University,
And the 6-play, 30-yard
14,
drive
game 7.
gives Wilkes the lead, 14-7. 17 seconds left in the half. And here's what Wilkes faced this year. Their only 2 losses, probably the best 2 teams in the MAC. They lost
yes,
to
they are.
Delaware Valley, and last week they lost to Stevenson. But they had an opportunity in that game against Stevenson as well.
And they had to go to overtime, Bob, as you alluded to earlier with Misericordia. Stevenson and Del Val always, year in and year out, they always have the best athletes down there and the best program in the Mid-Atlantic Conference.
Again, if the Colonels win the game, they get the 2nd seed in the Centennial Bowl. According to the SID, Vince Scalzos, if they do that, good shot they go down to Johns Hopkins.
And Johns Hopkins hasn't, we never hear much about
Nope.
them because they're in the Centennial Conference. They've been year in and year out. They're one of the premier teams in that conference.
And
So,
Susquehanna University and down in Selinsgrove having a good year in the Centennial.
and that's Coach Norris' sons down there.
Yeah. Well, that's a big touchdown from Wilkes because they do get the ball into the third quarter.
Bob, I'm looking at the sideline on King's sideline right in front of us, and I see they have some freshman recruiting going on. They have those kids on the sideline. One of the things about Division III football is the kids are going to get a great education and they get a chance to play football at this level still.
Taken up by an up man up to the 37-yard line.
To go in the half. First and 10 Monarchs.
Well, they have 3 timeouts. They have 12 seconds left. You just go into the half?
I think Coach Norris is
You
going
don't
to
need
go
an
into
interception.
No, not. And Jordan Downs, we know what he can do, and they're going to scheme it up so that something good will happen in the second half for him.
37.
Well, Wilkes has run 10 more plays in the half than Kings. After this one, it will be down to 9, but definitely momentum has gone back and forth in a Mayor's Cup game. And Coach Strock going to call timeout.
Huh.
Didn't like
Okay.
something maybe expected.
Timeout. Wilkes.
The Hail Mary.
Some kind of trickery possibly.
Yep.
Bob, with Division III, as I was saying before, the one thing, these kids, these student athletes, they do not get scholarships at the Division III level. So they have to have a love of football to be coming out here to make that commitment to take away from their studies. And the thing is, these kids love playing football, and that's why Division III is so awesome that way. It allows these kids that opportunity to continue to play. As I said, get a great education, and all the coaches, they have to make sure these kids are student athletes because they don't want one-hit wonders.
Well, retention is a big thing in Division III athletics. I mean, keeping the players, it's not easy being a student athlete at that level.
No,
keeping your grades up.
I don't understand how a basketball player does it because they're playing 2 or 3 times a week or on weekends where football is playing once a week.
So Moore's going to throw one to Constantino, goes off his hands. One of the sideline officials, that was actually the ball boy went down. Thought it was an official. 7 seconds left after the incomplete pass. Constantino now with Basella out. He's going to be their go-to guy.
You'll see on the replay here, Downs it's just slide protection with the offensive line.
Wilkes just going to play the prevent defense. Moore back. Airs it out. He actually has a receiver for a moment, trying to get it down to Devin Ringler, the senior, and he was open for a minute.
He was. Just a tad bit overthrown.
Minute 6.
Here you go. Look at it again.
Plenty of time. Steps into the ball.
1.6 seconds left in the half.
I like Coach Norris' approach to this. I thought with 12.5 seconds he was just going to take a knee, go in, but very aggressive offensive style right now. He must, again, have faith in his kids, and he wants to get that spark for the kids to keep them excited, thinking, hey, we're still in this to win this.
And he knows anything can happen in this game.
Oh, it will, and we know it will. Yeah.
Little swing pass out to Downs. He had to get by the whole Wilkes team. Picks up a first down, so that goes in the books, and that's the way this half will end. Kings had an opportunity, but Wilkes took it back. They score late in the half. They have a 14-7 lead, and Paul now with Coach Narr.
Okay, Coach, down by 7 at the half. How did you feel about the way your team played in the first half?
I mean, they're battling and being resilient. I mean, we got to make more plays. I mean, we're allowing, we got the quarterback. We're making tackles, but we're missing tackles. I mean, that's the biggest problem. We're not wrapping up, running our feet. We're there, and they're making plays. You can't do that with, 5. Like, he's a good player from that team. But we're battling. We made some turnovers. Kind of got some things going offensively a little bit. And then we, you can't throw a pick in your own territory to give them that extra possession. We get the ball to start the second half, so we just got to settle down. Move the ball. So we get some points there because defensively I think we're starting to play better, but we were missing too many tackles and we're not staying on our rush lanes well, and 5 is hurting us with that.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Bob, at halftime, it's a 7-point game.
I think Coach Narr summed it up pretty good for his team. His defense is playing a lot better, but that late interception and then Wilkes converting that into the leading touchdown is the advantage now we have in this game. So at the half, we have some special guests. The presidents will join Paul on the sidelines from each school. Then Coach and I will be back to give you some stats and highlights from the first half in the 24th annual Mayor's Cup game.
You're watching the 24th annual Mayor's Cup game on MyTV WQMY.
Halftime at McCarthy Stadium at Betzler Field sees the visiting Wilkes Colonels leading the Kings College Monarchs. And at halftime, I am joined by the president of Kings College, Father John Ryan. Father, how's the football game treating you today?
Well, it's great to be here, Paul. So far, so good. Hope for a better second half, but I'll take it.
We're looking for 4 wins in a row for Kings. I know you'd like that. But let's talk about some exciting things going on at Kings.
Sure.
This incoming freshman class into 2019, third largest ever. Kings seems to be growing in popularity, growing as a school. What's attracting students that we get such big classes?
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, sometimes people are surprised when I tell them that schools like Kings and Wilkes, most of our students come from outside of the area. They come from different parts of the region, different parts of the country, different parts of the world. About 8% of our student population are international students. And they recognize the quality. Sometimes being local, we don't know the quality of our own programs, but I'll tell you it's recognized when I do my travel. For example, 2 weekends ago, I was out at University of Notre Dame. And of course, we have a program out there. If our engineering students do well, they're able to go out to Notre Dame and finish up their studies and get 2 degrees, one from King's, one from Notre Dame. And I have dinner with them every year. And they do fantastic. I'll tell you, they compete at the level that the Notre Dame students do. I was walking on campus. I met 2 of our students doing master's programs at Notre Dame. As I travel this country, I see King's alums in every kind of leadership position, whether it's in business or accounting and education, political science. So the word is out there. Sometimes we don't recognize what's right under our nose, but world-class programs with a caring and personalized attention. I think that draws a lot of people to our area.
And Kings certainly offers great facilities, lots to learn, good opportunities for the students. I know construction's always a constant.
Right.
Recently opened 2 new buildings on campus.
We did. You know, the 2 oldest ongoing institutions in the West are the Catholic Church at 2,000 years and the universities at 800 years. We're in both of those businesses. So the one building we opened was a building that was built in 1872. It was a Presbyterian church for almost 150 years. It was shuttered about a dozen years ago, and we renovated it. Just opened up this year. It's really a magnificent structure. It served our area so well for 150 years. It's going to serve well again for another 150 years. We took another building that's almost a little over 100 years old, the old Springbrook Water Building. We renovated that, and it's now our new engineering building. And just as that served for a century, this building will serve another century for the transformation of students. So it's a plus for the college, it's a plus for the region, and it's a way of preserving really wonderful structures.
And it's a nice footprint in downtown Wilkes-Barre, is certainly on your side of the square where you're growing in.
Right.
Your students are so involved in that footprint in downtown Wilkes-Barre, in the whole community. What kinds of ways are your students getting involved in the neighborhood?
Well, last year we spent 220,000 hours of student service hours.
Wow.
And it's almost in every area, with soup kitchens, shelters of various kinds, helping out with non-for-profits, charitable organizations, cleaning up on the river, as well as direct service to the students. Kings brings in about $125 million to the city of Wilkes-Barre, and probably Wilkes equal, if not more. There's almost $250 million that the 2 institutions bring into the Wilkes-Barre area between salaries and taxes that the employees paid. And as you see, the students bring in their families from out of the region. So it's a direct service not only on what the students do, but certainly it's an economic a boom for our area.
All right, okay, and so here we are, halftime. Kings trailing by 7, but you're going to send in some plays to call here, maybe get that tied or take the lead?
No, I'm in sales, not operations, Paul. You got to get somebody better for that.
Okay, well, good luck to Kings in this game. Certainly a pleasure to talk with you again, Father John Ryan, the president of Kings College. So we'll be back with more halftime right after this. You're watching college football on MyTV WQMY.
You're watching the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup Game on MyTV WQMY.
Halftime continues here at McCarthy Stadium in the Mayor's Cup 2019 version. Wilkes leads Kings 14-7, and in the interest of equal opportunity, now I'm joined by the interim president of Wilkes University, Dr. Paul Adams. Thank you so much for joining us. You feel good about your football team after the half?
Well, we're always happy to be up at halftime, but recognize it's going to be a very competitive game the second half. I think it's exactly the game everybody expected it to be, and the young people have a lot to play for today on both sides. So.
Yeah, well, we're enjoying this football game, certainly. We're the visitor today. We're at Kings' facility,
Exactly.
but Wilkes certainly has been putting a lot of efforts and resources into their athletic facilities recently. We have Bregaworth Field. What's that been like, and what's the contributions to the school that's given?
Well, we were very excited to have that project come to fruition this fall, part of our Gateway to the Future Capital campaign, and we were able to dedicate it to Bregaworth Field during homecoming. Our alum Bob Bregaworth from the class of 1983 made a nice lead gift to make that new field possible that will support our men's and women's soccer, men's and women's lacrosse, field hockey, and provide us a new baseball diamond with an artificial surface. So we're very excited for all the opportunities that's going to give us. It's a lighted field, it's great spectator space, and it really is a wonderful opportunity for our young people to take advantage of another artificial surface, better playing surface, and a little bit more better for the inclement weather of northeastern Pennsylvania, especially in the spring.
Yeah, certainly, and we're seeing that from all the local colleges recently have had projects like that, and you also have some academic projects under construction and things developing. How are those projects coming along?
Well, wonderful. I know you got to speak to Kirsten earlier today, and she talked to you about the Carambellis Media Center on campus, which is the new home to our Communication Studies Department, but it also houses our Sardoni Art Gallery, and we've been delighted to have that space available for our students and faculty on campus, but also for the community. We had a wonderful opening exhibit there with Andy Warhol, but right now we have another blockbuster show there with Pete Souza, who is the photographer for both President Obama and President Reagan. So at this time of year, as we prepare for a presidential election a year from now, you can come and see this wonderful chronicle of both presidencies through the lens of Pete Souza. And I really encourage people to come out to see that show. It's going to be there until December 8th at the Sardoni Gallery at the Carambellis Media Center on South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre.
All right, terrific. But not only that, Wilkes always has guest speakers, which is certainly you want students to come to, but anyone can come see some of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's on the schedule coming up? I think I saw Terry Gross was scheduled.
You did. We were thrilled yesterday to be able to announce Terry Gross from National Public Radio, of course the host for 30 years of the Fresh Air broadcast, and she's coming to campus in April on a Sunday afternoon, the 19th, and she'll be delivering her lecture on her behind the mic perspective of all her years of interviewing her special guests. It's part of the Rosen Lecture in the Arts or in the Humanities and Law lecture series. I think Ms. Gross will be our 39th speaker in that series, so we're absolutely delighted to be able to provide those kinds of opportunities to these special guests for our students and for the community.
All right, that's so terrific. And, we had Father Ryan here a moment ago. We have a football rivalry. There's an academic rivalry between the two schools, right? What they offer, you want to be better than them, and you kind of watch each other, right? There's some competition.
Sure, but we also collaborate a lot also. We share an academic calendar. Our students can cross-register between schools. So, while we have that friendly rivalry on the athletic fields, we're also collaborating, though, in the academic realm, and it gives advantages to the students both at Kings and Wilkes to be able to go to each campus. So.
All right, so
good,
thank you so much.
Good.
It makes
Good
it
to be with
exciting
you.
for this area,
Exactly.
and we love this football game.
Yep.
And right now, you guys are a little bit ahead.
Yeah,
so
good.
thank you to Dr. Paul Adams, the interim president at Wilkes University, and we'll be back with more halftime of the Mayor's Cup on MyTV WQMY.
You're watching the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup Game on MyTV WQMY.
Back to McCarthy Stadium at the half of the Mayor's Cup game. It is 14-7, the Colonels in front of the Monarchs. We come back up into the booth, Bob Ide and Jan Cechak, and we're, Coach, so far, tale of two quarters, really. Wilkes dominated the first quarter. Kings came back in the second quarter, scored their only touchdown, but Wilkes surged ahead, got a little momentum back towards the end of the half.
Well, we said Jose Tobera is going to be the difference in the game, and he has been. 2 touchdowns, he's rushed for 57 yards. But on the Monarch side, Jordan Downs got going, and he has 45 yards rushing on 10 attempts. So those are the 2 factors for these 2 teams, and it's going to be a great second half.
Well, let's take a look at the first half highlights before we look at some stats. And went down like this. Tabora takes it to the outside, picks up the first Colonel touchdown of the game. A big first quarter for Wilkes. But then nice drive from
Jordan Downs on that inside zone for the touchdown to bring the Monarchs, tie this game up.
And then finally a 6-play, 30-yard drive capped it after this interference call. Oh, it was interception by Jared Horn. He looks like he's out for the game. Saw him on crutches. And then again, Tabora using his legs to complete the drive, and that's where we stand right now with the lead. Wilkes has it 14-7. Again, Tabora, the key. What does Kings have to do in the first half? But before we get to that, let's see if we get down to Paul with the Wilkes coach real quick.
Okay, Coach, you have this 7-point lead here at the half. How did you feel about your team's play in the first half?
We got to finish some opportunities in the red zone that we had. We didn't finish all those, and those make big points of the game. I thought the defense played pretty well for the most part in that last drive. They did a nice job of running the football down our throats a little bit, so we got to be able to toughen up a little bit on the inside with their inside zone. But besides that, I was happy with the way we played.
Well, you know Kings is going to focus on stopping Jose. He had such a big first half, so will you make any adjustments for that?
There's always a couple of adjustments here and there.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Paul. Let's take a quick look at the stats from the first half, Jan. And as you might expect, Wilkes with more yardage, and they ran more plays in the first half.
They really did, and the passing was the difference, though. Kings was trying to do a lot more passing. Then when they decided to settle in and give the ball to the #1 rusher in the MAC conference, things started to go their way. And you can see the rushing yards, 68 versus 50, and we know 57 of those yards were Jose Tabora's in the first half.
Okay, so Wilkes gets the ball to begin the third quarter, and we'll be back with the second half kick after this. And we are back. Nice crowd on hand and a chilly but sunny afternoon in Wilkes-Barre Township in Pennsylvania. We're in Luzerne County. It's the 24th Mayor's Cup, but it is the, 33rd meeting between the two schools. Of course, the Mayor's Cup started when Kings brought back football in the early 90s. Some nice... You worked on both staffs, Coach.
I
did.
did.
What was that like?
That was a lot of fun, especially this week of practice. It's the end of the season. Kids are tired. They're banged up. And this rejuvenated the staff and the players. And that's why this game is so important to the city of Wilkes-Barre and to both of these schools.
Of course, Wilkes wins. They pick up the second seed in the Centennial Bowl. They lose, and a lot of things have to come into play. Kings looking to end their season on a high note and win their 4th straight Mayor's Cup, which never has been done. So Tamonte tees it up, and the second half is underway.
And we're underway.
Whitaker from the 21.
Whitaker on the return.
Whitaker with a nice gain, gets belted out of bounds. And Wilkes will have it at the 40-yard line. So Tabora comes back out.
Wilkes will scrimmage from the...
And he's had a nice first half, just 3 of 7 through the air, Coach. 22 total yards, but on the ground, he's picked up 76 gained, but 57 net, of course, of the sacks. But he does have the 2 touchdowns using his legs that we saw.
And at this point, Wilkes does have the wind at their back right now for the third quarter, so it'll be interesting to see if Coach Strock decides to open this up a little bit.
So the freshman, Kamal Reed, stood up, loss of 1, second half, his first carry of the second half.
And we said earlier in the first half, Bob, that Kings defense has been playing pretty stout up front, and their secondary really has done a nice job taking away the wide receivers of the Colonels. So this is going to be a battle right now of the offensive defensive lines. And Coach Koharski and I, Bob, and you, we say this week in and week out, depends on that offensive and defensive line.
So Letsom picks up his second tackle of the game. DeBoer back, and he's going to look to pass. Goes across the middle and in and out of the hands of Michael Donald, and he had some running room.
That was a perfectly placed ball. They're going to have to start converting because that's been happening too much for the Colonels in this game so far, drop balls. So you see, good fake, turns around, pivot, boom. There was no coverage there. Ball was right there. And he knows it.
Notice Wilkes like those crossing routes, and they've used that a lot today.
They're trying, I think, take advantage of the inexperienced linebackers that are on the inside. It also sets up that pick kind of pattern that you can't run a true pick, but it forces them to step up or step back.
Third downs. Wilkes today 6 of 9. Trying to set up a screen. DeBoer has room to run, and he's going to flick it. It was almost picked off, but he was trying to get to number 82, Coach.
He was, and then in the first half when he had that first interception, that's what gets a quarterback in trouble, trying to make things happen. He's rolling. He had a receiver there. Just throw it at his feet so nothing bad can happen.
Jordan Jones, number 82. But something almost bad did happen as McGill Butler was right there. Almost could have picked it off. So a good defensive stand from Kings will get them the ball back. That's Burrito. The punt, nice high kick. Basella, who's their normal returner, is out.
Coming on the return.
Good
Bring that to about the
turn.
38-yard line. First and
Brandon
10.
Cohen on the return on that.
For the Monarchs.
So here come the Monarchs out. And see what they want to get going in this game. So far, Moore, 5 of 14, 45 yards, has that interception. Downs, 10 carries, 45 yards, and 1 touchdown.
King.
They're missing Gabe Basella. Their leading receiver was injured in the first half. Here comes an outside blitz, but Downs takes it off the right-hand side for a gain of 4.
The Monarchs did a nice job of running away from that blitz. So when you are blitzing, it's always a chess match, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That time they brought Wilkes brought a lot of pressure from King's left side, but they were running to the right, so it actually worked to their advantage. 2nd and 5.
Downs again.
again.
Up for a couple more, brings up 3rd and short for Kings.
Bring up a 3rd down.
You can see what Kings wants to do. They want to establish the run.
They have the number 1 rusher in the league. Let's do it, baby. And I just noticed Derek Schneider, number 5 for Wilkes' defense, the defensive end. Again, on that zone block, the tackle stepping down. So now they're playing a nice bend technique, so they might be able to catch him on a bootleg action.
Werner in their first half, the defensive tackle, had 7 tackles overall. He happens to be number 7. He's the Colonels' leading tackler in the first half. Here comes the Colonels inching up. They go back to the RPO to Downs, but nowhere to go.
Maybe a yard.
And that's the other defensive end from Boyertown, Pat Ritchie on that. 17 tackles for the season. That makes number 18.
That's a big 3rd down play.
Right there, you see him coming off the edge right there, being stout. Again, beating that to the inside, so he's maintaining gap responsibility.
So both teams
Carcio will be punting it away.
stop each other on their opening possessions of the second half. Caraccio into punt. Nelson deep to receive. Another low kick. Flag comes in. Almost hit a Wilkes player.
There is a flag on the
They'll
play.
down it at the 30, but let's see what the flag is. Our referee, Stephen Keller, today, and the crew from the MAC.
It looked like a Kings player there was only 10 men on the field, and then he realized it, and he ran onto the field. He was behind the line of scrimmage, but you can't come off the sideline like that.
Well, if it does go against Kings, it will just stay Wilkes ball.
Illegal shift against Kings, declined.
And Wilkes back out for their second possession of the second half.
We'll see what, again, Jose Tabora is quite an athlete. I hope he'll settle down a little bit and try to sustain a great drive right now and not try to bite too much off to try to get the Colonels, just trying to make too much happen. He has weapons out there.
So this possession starts at the 35. And we have a quick timeout.
Timeout. Wilkes.
So 11:36 left. We'll take a quick timeout ourselves. Still 14-7 Wilkes. We are back at McCarthy Stadium. A quick timeout call by the Colonels. There you see the crowd on the Kings College side. Bundled up, have the hats and gloves, but the sun is shining. And hey, it turned out to be a good football day.
It's a
and
great
we'll take
football
that
day.
because typically we come to Kings, we have bad weather. Snow, rain, and you mentioned it. We've had it. Maybe you're bringing some luck.
I don't know about that. I know I've had to coach in really horrendous conditions at both fields, and that was before they had AstroTurf too. So I still remember being here at Kings in a torrential downpour, and they were throwing kitty litter to soak up all the puddles that were on the field.
Well, there's no cats or kitty litter out there today. Flea flicker to Borer, going long. And it's just out of the reach of the intended receiver, Nate Whitaker.
Intended for Whitaker. On the flea flicker, incomplete.
So
Second and 10.
Pulling out the bag of tricks in this game.
Trickeration, I think that's what they termed it. Just overthrew it. He was cutting his pattern off. He was going to the sideline. He just should have maintained his course and gone a little bit deeper with that post pattern.
Let's see what the Colonels now have in store for second down. Four-man front. Again, a quick pitch. Get it out to their fullback, Lechinsky, out of the backfield. Picks up a first down.
First down, Colonels.
That was he threw that. Boy, that was a dart right in there. And that was a nice catch. Again, that's just inside that zone we talked about. You're in right in back of the linebackers, right in front of the safeties. Nice job.
Of the Colonels.
So Kings brings in 3 subs. Looks like they might have 5 defensive backs in, Coach.
Well, go to
Expecting
that.
the pass.
Well,
Here
again,
comes the blitz from the outside. DeBoer with the rush, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
All the way back to about the 38, 39-yard line.
when you want to get pressure, you're going to dial something up, and that time they did, Bob. You picked right up on it. They brought in an extra defensive back because they're going to be a lot faster than an extra defensive lineman up front, and that pressure paid off big time for the Monarchs.
Gabe Brown looks like number 23 in there playing. Picked up the sack. So a second and long. It's completed. Just short of the first down out to Ermaeus, the sophomore, number 3.
Covered by number 6, Demostine out there.
On the catch from Tabora.
That's a good job.
Third down. and 3.
Trying to get to the sticks, but the defense was playing back too deep for that to occur.
Well, big third down here for the defense for the Monarchs. Want to keep this one to a one-score game. Tabora keeps it right up the middle. He has a first down.
Flag on the play.
But there is a flag down on the far side.
Down if it holds, but there is a flag on the play.
Coach is pointing towards Wilkes. I think the fans want it on Wilkes. Let's see what the referee
That's
says.
what I was snickering about, because they say, better be on Wilkes.
Illegal shift.
Illegal shift against the
So that's a big penalty. Brings up third down and 8.
On this play, you'll see right here, they were, again, Kings was bringing pressure to Wilkes' left side, and Tabor did a nice job reading that, just going right up the gut with it. But, again, the outside receiver wasn't quite set.
Let's see what the Colonels dial up. They have 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. Kings looks like they're dialing up the blitz, and they do. They send the blitzer, and over the middle they go to Whitaker. Whitaker picks up a first down and is ripped down at the 40-yard line. But a gain of 12, and we move the chains.
I'll tell you, Whitaker has got some jets on him. That's a nice job dragging across the middle, ball security, and a nice burst to get that first down.
Butler came in to make the tackle, but the drive keeps alive for the Colonels. Whitaker with the 2 catches on the day for 16 yards. Big one right there. Acker back into the game. They fake it to him, and they're going to set up a middle screen to one of their wide receivers. O'Donnell. Nice gain of 5.
That's what we just call a zip screen on this. They check inside, the Z receiver coming in. Obviously, that's where the term zip comes in for that screen.
2nd down and 6.
So Kings a little bit on their heels, not knowing what the play is going to be.
They're doing a nice job mixing this up right now, the Colonels are. And again, we haven't seen any runs in this series just yet.
Blitz again by Kings. And there's Tabor trying to run him, trying to get a block. Still on his feet. Couple big hits put in there. No whistle. Inside the 35 to the 34, short gain. Here it is again.
You'll see this. He comes in. I just said about the running, and there it is. That's a tremendous hit, and you'll see that he refuses to go down. And this is where the officials have to really be careful in this type of game.
Yes.
They really have to blow that whistle quick to stop any of the shenanigans that could occur.
Crowd on their feet here, trying to get their Monarchs defense to get that ball back. It's 3rd down. They rush 4. They get it to the outside of Whitaker, and it goes incomplete. Couple players going at it, but they separate. I don't see any flags, Coach.
No, they're again, as an offensive lineman, you're doing your job. You're blocking, and more importantly, you're protecting your quarterback, and he took him to the ground. There was nothing illegal about it.
Miles Shelton, the junior, was on the ground. So on 4th down, looks like Wilkes will keep the offense out there. And they'll go for it with Tabora. Wilkes today 0 for 1 on 4th downs. Of course, they had an interception on a 4th down the last time they went. Big rush from the outside. Kings can't get Tabora. Jose still at his feet, has a first down and more. What a run by Jose Tabora. Up to the 25, a hard 9-yard gain.
Jose Tabora.
Right here on this play, this was all Jose Tabora. They had, by rights, Kings had him down for a loss, and he just kept going and kept going.
Mozaleski thought he had the angle, and he did not. When we have a shaken up Monarch, I believe that's Shelton. who we talked about the last time, trying to catch his breath a little bit.
Donate to the Monarch Athletic Fund, the perfect way to support it.
He's been going at it. He's been battling Anthony Zabala, the 6'4", 250-pound left tackle for the Colonels, and has done a really nice job. He's put a lot of pressure on that young man, and that's where they keep bringing that outside pressure from that side.
Fund today by visiting kingscollegeathletics.com.
Last time Wilkes won this game, 2015, 24-17 was the final. We've seen over the years, I'm thinking this might be our 11th or 12th broadcast of this Mayor's Cup. Anything can happen. We've seen the teams, come into, they're visiting on the opposite side and pull off a win.
And by rights, you would think, okay, 7-2, 5-5. Oh, Wilkes should be dominating, and they're not. It's just these two teams that this week will not, they don't like each other, and like you said, Bob, anything and everything will happen.
Jeremiah Acker, his first carry of the second half. That's no gain. Good stop by Izu Mosey for Kings, who shoots in.
Izu's 6 foot, 275 pounds. He's got, that's 21 tackles right now for the young man.
Clock stops. Not sure why. I see a flag down.
I did not see one, but
Jonathan Drock questioning something on the field.
Maybe it was, I would assume
Placement
it was,
the
placement, the
something.
spot of the ball.
So no gain. Brings up second down. 6 minutes left in the third. Acker has a hole, still on his feet. Picks up about 7. Third and short coming up.
It's what we call a divide. You'll see that how the fullback now steps up inside, and it's still the RPO, but they would consider that a divide because you're trying to divide the defense now into that, to committing to one side or the other.
And the Kings faithful now making some noise, trying to get their defense up to make a stop. Tabora, quarterback draw. Trying to get a block by Acker, may have. He has a first down at the 14. So Wilkes is inside the red zone again.
Right there, Tabor just, again, they just are doing a lead blocking scheme up there. Offensive line is stepping to the right in unison, the zone block, and then they just have that fullback just lead blocking for Tabor to get that first down.
Wilkes controlling the clock and controlling the yardage in this game, Jan.
This drive.
In this drive especially. Tabora swings it out to Reed, and Reed puts his head down and gets to the 5.
Tabora put that one where it needed to be placed. Earlier, he's been having some problems. It might be the wind, but that was right there, and he does a nice job reading that, getting in there. Number 82 outside, stalk blocking, doing a great job for the Colonels. And that is Jordan Jones from Freehold, New Jersey.
They can pick up a first down at the 3-yard line. Acker taken down. Good job by Kings. Getting a big push, and that lets them again, the freshman.
You'll watch this. You'll see that Wilkes went into what they consider a heavy set. They'll put an extra body, an unbalanced, however you want to deem it. You'll see it. They have everybody on the right-hand side puts his head down, and he gets stuffed. So credit to the Kings Monarchs defense on that play to make it 3rd and 4.
DeBoer's going to keep it. Puts it up in the end zone. Incomplete. Trying to hit O'Donnell up in the back. Or is that Deem? That's Deem, Justin Deem. You see it again.
You'll see it on here. DeBoer has it, but again, throws it to a spot. And again, double coverage. There was good secondary coverage there by the Monarchs.
Justin Pollock will attempt the field goal.
So Pollock on for the field goal. 23 yards. Kick is up, and it is good.
A 28-yard field goal.
3:07 left. Wilkes completes a nice drive with a field goal, and they extend their lead now to 10. Paul Grippy on the sidelines with another special guest. Paul, who do you have?
Joining me now from King's College, the Director of Graduate Admissions, it's Christine Stevens. Thank you so much for joining us today. The graduate programs at King's, what's available for people who want to continue their education?
Well, we have a Master of Science in Healthcare Administration, and we have Master of Education programs for teachers to continue on with their education, and we have certification programs for teachers, as well as a Master of Science in Athletic Training, and soon we will be coming out with a Master of Science in Nutrition Science.
Well, it's kind of tough for graduates because some of them follow right from bachelor's into graduates, but some of them take a break and now they're later in life. So how do you in King's accommodate those two different pursuits?
We work with the students. We have on-campus classes as well as online program, and we have programs that they could do online and on campus. So it depends on what their schedule is. Our Master of Science in Healthcare Administration, they can complete online, on campus, or both. And our Master of Education programs, we have a couple programs completely online and hybrid programs for them as well.
And this is just sort of a trend in the whole country, right? A lot of people are just saying, I want a different degree or I want to continue my education. Isn't the graduate admissions across the country something that's growing?
It is absolutely growing, Paul. We are seeing a lot of increase in career changers, especially folks that are out there in the workforce and they see that healthcare is growing right now and there's a demand for healthcare managers, so we are seeing folks come into our graduate program for that. We are seeing people that want to improve their skills. For teachers, they're always coming back to learning more skill sets to take back to their classroom. And we have the Master of Science in Nutrition Science coming out for physician assistants and athletic trainers that want to have another specialization.
Okay, can I get a Go Kings?
Go Kings, come on, better third quarter, fourth quarter.
Thank you, Christine Stevens, Director of Graduate Admissions. And Jan, there you can still be that veterinarian you always wanted to be.
Well, you know, working 35 years as a high school teacher, sometimes some people would say I have worked with animals. I don't know. I'll be Dr. Doolittle.
Let's recap the drive, though, before we get into that. Justin Pollock with the field goal. 16 plays, Coach, 59 yards, 8 minutes and 29 seconds taken off the clock. And we talk about controlling the line of scrimmage, the clock, and the run plays, and just about everything Wilkes did right on that drive.
They really did. And the most important thing, Bob, was the 8 minutes that they took off the clock. It's a 2-score game now. And again, we're not even into the fourth quarter, and we know anything's going to happen at this game and at this point. Coach Norrell will probably put together a real nice drive right now to bring it back into within a field goal. We're going to have a shootout here at Kings Stadium today. Seems like the wind's picking up a little bit too, Bob.
Kings going into the wind now, as it's going left to right on your screen. In the fourth quarter, they'll have it at their back. So Tyler Moore, back to pass, has a big rush with Tarantella trying to set up a screen. They do to Jordan Downs, makes a nice catch, can't pick up a block though, and picks up about 4.
One of the hardest things to teach a defensive lineman is to stop. When you know you're not being blocked, stop, retrace, and follow your steps back. You know it's a screenplay, but again, it gets the best of you.
So we have a flag down. It's against the Colonels.
Passer, 15 yards.
Roughing the passer. You talked about Tarantella coming in. He must have hit him late.
He did. Again, he was just coming in, and when the ball's released, the quarterback's constantly backing up on a screenplay, and you've got to throttle that down and understand, hey, if I'm not being blocked, it is a screen, especially if no one's in your face like that.
So a break for the Monarchs. The ball at the 45 now. Back to Downs. Bud Moyer shoots in to make the tackle. Gain of 1. Call it 2.
2 yards on the pickup, 2nd down and 8. Carried by Downs.
Moyer had 10 tackles against Misericordia. That's his high this year. And of course, he's first in the MAC in tackles out of Tamaqua.
And that's what I was going to say. Bud, he's done a great job for the Colonels this year. And when you have that type of linebacker inside, when you run a 4-3 defense and you allow him to run free like that, it makes things really, really smooth for the defensive coordinators.
Moore back. Rush put on, and Wilkes gets him.
Sack for a loss.
Cole Jesmer, the sophomore linebacker, picks up his 3rd sack of the season.
Dane Tarantelli on that slow to get up. They had a tremendous rush up there, and they actually end up having an extra man in there. You can see it was a high-low from his own teammate.
So another 3rd down coming up for Kings. They have 3 for 8 today on their conversions. No one in the backfield. 3-man rush from Wilkes. Moore swings it to Downs.
Incomplete.
Goes incomplete.
Intended for Downs, 4th down.
Almost hit late, but no flags down. Here comes the punt team.
On that pass, it really, at that point, it wouldn't matter because it was right at the line of scrimmage where he threw the ball. It was on his fingertips. We've seen a lot of drop balls on both sides today, Bob, and I don't think it's the wind. It might be the chilliness. I'm not sure.
So Caraccio, the freshman, into kick, and typically today he's kicked it short. Nelson back to receive. Gets this away from Nelson, and it takes a nice Monarch bounce. And will die down at the 26-yard line.
6-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Colonels.
He kicked that nice and low because with that wind, it would have come right back in his face, and it would not have been good.
Well, Wilkes, over the years, Coach, as you know, 0-10 in 2017. Just 3-7 2016. The change in head coach last year, Jonathan Drock, has done a nice job getting this program back to where now they're trying to pick up win number 8 on the year and get to a bowl game.
And well, last year, I mean, again, first-year coach, he did some nice things, a whole totally different concept in the offensive schemes that he was doing. And this year, you can see the fruits of the labor that the players and the coaching staff have put in.
DeBoer thought about sending it deep, instead tucks it in for a gain of 4.
And smartly, he did. That time, he didn't try to force anything, and he used his feet to get 5 yards on here. Here you go. And again, the secondary coverage has been really, really strong for the Monarchs all day.
Hunter on the tackle for Kings, brings up 2nd down. We're just about 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. The only score in this quarter, a field goal from Wilkes on their last possession. Quick hitter. Nice catch and a 1st down. He'll move the chains for the Colonels.
Secondary coverage on this one, they were playing a cover 2 press, which means the 2 outside corners were in the receivers' faces. The free safeties are backed off, which allowed that inside hook to be able to get that completion done.
O'Donnell's 2nd reception of the day. And that will do it. We have 3 quarters in the book in the 24th Annual Mayor's Cup. The Colonels trying to get that cup back, have a 10-point lead. We're back in Wilkes-Barre for the Mayor's Cup game. Bob I, Jan Cichak, Paul Grippy on the sidelines on a beautiful afternoon for college football. For one, might be the last game of the season, Kings, but Wilkes trying to get that win and play next week in the Centennial Bowl, maybe go down to Johns Hopkins.
That would be the first time in Wilkes' history that they'd be able to do that.
In that bowl game. Of course, Delaware Valley and Stevenson there. Del Val looks like they'll win the MAC. Stevenson will be the first seed in the bowl series.
Correct.
And then number 2, if Wilkes wins, will be the Colonels. So both teams come back out. Wilkes continues to have the ball, and they dominated that third quarter.
They really did. I mean, that 8-minute drive, that was half the quarter on one drive.
Acker trying to get some tough yards on first down, maybe a yard at best.
Probably no gain.
I mean, Acker has done a nice job stepping in there today, and he's really shown that he can take a pounding and also give it, more importantly. I mean, freshman running back, Jaquan Shields, we don't know. I mean, we were told he just wasn't playing. We didn't ask details because it's really none of our business what's going on. Hopefully it's not an injury that, or if it is, it's just a minor injury that they didn't want him playing today.
Kings missing the leading tackler, Mondo Salavante. They're also missing Yusef Wheeler, another good linebacker. So 2 linebackers out for Kings today, and the handoff goes to Reed, the freshman. Shoots through, brings up 3rd down and long.
3rd down and 8 from the 44.
Right there, just that inside zone. And Coach Norris said that earlier, that he was a little concerned before the game that they were going to try to establish something inside with the lack of those 2 inside linebackers they have.
This will be the 56th play of the game for Wilkes. Kings has only run 34. There you see the reason why Wilkes is up 10 in this one. A flag comes down to Boer down the middle. Completes it to Whitaker. But I have a feeling this one's coming back. Could be a hold. Maybe Zabala's pleading his case. Maybe that's a big sign. It is a hold. So this will back up Wilkes and bring up 3rd and long.
Miles Shelton has been causing problems all day. And again, when they lock up, and it's just a matter of timing in terms of when the official sees it.
Holding, number 55, 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So an opportunity for Kings to get the ball back here.
With decent field position with this, because if they force Wilkes into punt, they are punting into a very strong headwind.
Three-man rush. DeBoer over the middle to Nelson. And it's caught for a 1st down inside Monarch territory. 18-yard gain.
Derek Nelson is the 2nd leading receiver on the Colonels this year. He has 501 yards. Well, now he has 512, and he has 5 touchdowns this year. We know Nick Yannick is their number 1 receiver who got injured against Misericordia and hasn't obviously has not played since then.
Remember, the seniors on this team have never touched the trophy for Wilkes.
And that is an incentive that goes beyond any type of coaching you could do in terms of motivation.
DeBoer back. Here comes the rush. And he's taken down for a sack. Let's him again, the freshman, the 290-pounder, feeling it.
Wow. He just is a bull out there. He has great feet, great hands, great separation, and you see how he was relentless to the quarterback to get that next sack. That gives him 2 sacks on the year.
His 4th tackle of the day. 2 sacks on the afternoon. 2nd down and long. Almost intercepted on the far side. That ball hung up for a while. Almost picked up. Demostine almost pulled it in.
On this, they go with the fake RPO, and obviously this time they went with the pass. And as a defensive back, if your fingers touch the ball, you're just so like, why didn't I get that?
Should say, Colonel's now going into the wind, and that ball kind of hung up there a long time.
It did. It's actually almost like a cross. It's coming into the press box the way the wind is. It shifted from going goalpost to goalpost.
DeBoer back. See if he keeps it. Throws it down the sidelines, and it's knocked down. Good play again by Demostine, the junior.
This secondary of the Kings Monarchs, I'll tell you, we haven't seen them all year, but they are playing so tight. That's why Tabor's having a tough time. Now, granted, he is throwing into the wind, and he was scrambling that time. He could have got his feet set, but the way that ball was underthrown and the way that secondary, he had him covered down.
Now, Wilkes will be kicking into the wind. Desperito back, so good field position, a possibility for the Monarchs. High kick, and it goes out of bounds. And let's see where they'll mark it. Up to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Monarchs will take over, trailing by 10. 11:33 left in this game. A game that Wilkes kind of owned the first and third quarters. Kings the second. So now King owned the fourth.
Well,
I'm just using logic.
Well,
logical?
Sometimes you have to throw logic out, but Bob,
absolutely.
You've been right. I'd have to say, yeah, it's probably going to be in King's quarter right now.
Well, the wind is behind them, so Tyler Moore in again. He's out of Elk Ridge, Maryland, the sophomore quarterback. 6 of 16 on the day, just 50 yards. Swings it out to Downs. Downs, couple tacklers missed it, and he picks up 15 yards.
You're going to see on this one, Jordan Downs does a drill that is done by every running back where you put your hand down because you're being tackled to maintain your balance. Good ball security, gets hit there. See that left hand go down, keeps the balance going, and he picks up another 7 yards.
Of course, he transferred from Delaware State a few years ago. He's been a difference maker for this Monarch team. Moore again has time and tries to hit the receiver in the flat. Goes incomplete, trying to hit Cohen over there.
And they had a wall of blockers up there to allow Moore to get that time to throw that ball in there.
Both teams on the day under their average for total yards. Give a credit to both defenses, but Kings has an opportunity with a nice drive. Over the middle. They pick up Cohen. The big halfback tight end, still on his feet, inside Colonel territory.
It's a nice play call here to go with the curl pattern, go right behind the linebackers, and the inside linebacker blitzed. That was a great pickup by the quarterback Moore to get that completion for that first down.
17-yard play, 9th first down of the afternoon for the Monarchs. More to the outside, again to Cohen. Short gain, about 4.
Maybe it's a wind thing on this one, Bob.
Maybe.
With the wind at your back, it does make it a lot easier to start passing the ball. Great job. These guys, they're on the roll right now, trying to cut into that 2-scored lead.
Well, Moore can throw the ball against Albright this year. 15 of 26, 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. This time he tries to give it to Downs. But Wilkes was right there to make the play for Tarantelli.
Well, they were trying to do a cutback zone on this. You see how the entire offensive line, everybody was going left. Even the Jordan Downs took a step to the left to cut back with the open backside zone, and it was not there. The Colonels were not buying it.
Third and long. With time over the middle. Goes over the intended receiver's head. 4th down now. Into punt, Caraccio. Well, you want to get this inside the 20, I would think, if you're Kings. Don't want it to go into the end zone.
Well, looks like they're going to go for it.
Instead, they're going to leave the offense out, Coach, as you just said. How about that?
How about that? Every once in a while.
So 4th down. On the year, Kings is successful in 58% of the time. Down, flag comes in. Neswood on the coverage may have got to the receiver just a second early.
Pass interference, defense, number 22, 15 yards, first down.
Huge break for the Monarchs.
That is a big break, as you said, Bob.
Let's see it again. We'll try to slow it down as at the point of impact.
First and 10 from the 30.
Maybe from behind, had that left hand over maybe.
It may have, again, hard to see that.
So Kings keeps the drive alive. Down 10. Trying to win their 4th straight Mayor's Cup. Moore. Hand it off to Downs. Downs gets a little bit of the edge. Goes out of bounds, 3-yard gain. Stops the clock momentarily.
They're running the stretch zone this time again to the right, where that means, again, everybody's taking a step to the right. They're trying to stretch the defense out to allow the running back, to be able to pick in lane and get there.
Wilkes has done a nice job on downs today. He came in averaging 5.1 yards per carry. Today he's averaging just about 3.3 yards. So obviously a point of emphasis for the Colonels was watch number 3, and they have. Blitz picked up and tossed incomplete.
Quarterback rolled to the right after a quick fake to Downs, trying to go to the left-hand side. And again, the Colonel's doing a nice job. Nothing available for him to throw the ball, and smartly he throws it away.
Trying to hit Devin Ringler, but Moyer was on the coverage. 3rd down again for the Monarchs. 3 of 10 on the afternoon on 3rd down. So movement up front, no flags. To Downs and just overthrew it. If he threw it a little bit lower, he might have had him.
He would have. We know that from the replay. You'll see this. And again, they just swing him out of the backfield. There was a pressure coming from the inside.
Did Moore have to get rid of that a little bit earlier?
A little bit sooner than he wanted to, because they brought that inside pressure. Number 33, Cole Jesmer, was bringing some pressure from the inside, the sophomore middle linebacker.
Big 4th down now in this game. The Wilkes faithful trying to urge their defense. There's time. Flicks it over the middle and picks up a 1st down. Constantino with a big catch at the 16-yard line, gain of 11.
And right here, Zach Wepper is the Colonel's strong safety, who is playing, again, they play that cover 2 shell, so he just throttled down in front to make that reception to give the Monarchs another 1st down.
Give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They gave more time.
They did. That time they did. And it was funny because I was watching the offensive line just on that play right there, and the left guard, number 69, Trevor Brown, did a nice job with his footwork.
More rolling. Tosses it out of bounds. Had his receivers covered.
That's a good heads-up play again. We've said throughout the course of Friday night rival games that we've done, you never want your quarterback, you want to put him in a good position to win the game, but you don't want him to lose the game for you. And that's what we're talking about. There was nothing there, and he was able to throw that ball away.
Monarchs could pick up a 1st down at the 6-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Over the middle. It's complete. Diving catch by Cohen.
Brandon Cohen, again, they found that soft spot in that cover 2 is right there.
For the 1st down.
Again, doing a nice job, what we call throttle down in front of the safeties.
1st and goal to Downs. Downs is in for a Kings touchdown. his second of the afternoon. A huge drive by the Monarchs.
On this play, just look at the burst that Jordan has on this. Right into the end zone for a stand-up touchdown. I mean, he was just all power and speed.
13 plays, 76 yards, 4:33 off the clock. And if the PAT goes in, Monarchs are within 3. High snap taken down. The kick is up, and it is through. 7 minutes left in this one. Don't leave your TV. I have a feeling this one might come down to the wire.
Fourth quarter at the 2019 Mayor's Cup. You know, this one's going right down to the wire, and I know someone cheering for Wilkes. I'm joined by Wilkes cheerleader Erin Green. How's your football team looking?
Well, we're doing pretty good so far, so hopefully we can stay strong and win this one.
All right, well, Wilkes leading by 3 here, but Erin's involved in more things than just cheerleading. You're helping out with Roots Place, and that's a women's emergency shelter. So why, how are you doing things to help that shelter out?
So the cheerleading team has been putting boxes around campus to collect donations for Roots Place. They have a wish list of things that they would like for the holidays, and we're going to collect a whole bunch of those and then hopefully donate them before winter break.
And what kind of items are you collecting?
They're looking for things like feminine products, shampoos, conditioners, bus passes, trash bags, anything really that can help. New clothing, new pajamas.
Oh, that's just terrific. But I mean, you're involved in cheerleading. You're a student. You've got so much to do. Why would you decide to put your efforts into something like that?
Well, Roost Place is really important to a lot of the girls on my team. It's an all-women's shelter, and we really want to help them out. They're getting back on their feet. They're trying again. They're starting over. So we think that that's so amazing, and we just want to be a part of helping them out.
That's so great to hear that someone your age, with all the things you have to be concerned with, are still helping out other people. So thank you so much to Erin Green, cheerleader for Wilkes. Can I get a go, Colonels?
Go, Colonels!
All right, so they're leading right now, but this game's going to go right down to the end, Bob. Back to you.
Absolutely, guys. So back on the field, Tabora keeps it. Pickup of 7 off the right side, but there is a flag down.
There's a flag down.
Couple Wilkes penalties today have helped Kings stay in the game.
It really has, and we talk about discipline with those type of silly penalties. This one, again, holding.
Holding, 83. Wilkes, 10-yard penalty for first down.
So 1st and 20 on the way.
Bryce Harrison's the one that got flagged for that. You'll see right there, he just grabbed them again. And number 5, Miles Shelton, I keep mentioning his name. He's been causing a lot of problems just because he's got a great motor on him and he keeps going at that defensive end spot.
Absolutely. Let's see now. Tabora owned the first half. He hasn't done much in the second half. They've used a lot of Acker on the ground as well. They'll flush the pocket out. Swing it out to the big tight end. And they hit Harrison for a nice gain. About 6.
They just, offensive line, they go with slide protection left. Quarterbacks rolling to the left, and they connect for a 6-yard gain.
Harrison's first catch of the afternoon, and we have an injured player. It is Shelton.
That's the second time he's been down. Yeah.
So both teams will head to the sidelines. We have a quick timeout on the field. So action from around the league this afternoon, and the standings look like this going in. Delaware Valley, of course, the cream of the crop, ranked in the top 20. They should wrap up the conference today. Stevenson right there taking on Widener. And then Wilkes in 3rd place. Wilkes, of course, looking to get to the Centennial Bowl. Possibly take on
John
Hopkins. Thank you. There you see Kings at 5-4, trying to end with another positive record. Something this class has done a nice job with.
And that's what, when I said earlier that Coach Knorr felt that this senior class has really done a lot for this program in terms of excelling it or stepping up to the next level that they need to be at.
Another injured Monarch 3 key players now out of the game. Jared Horn, their starting safety, left with a wrapped knee. He was the MAC leader in interceptions. Caraccio, the freshman, number 25, has taken his spot.
And then Bocelli with his shoulder, right?
Yeah, they were already, Bacella with the shoulder. They're already missing Salavanti and Wheeler. They're top linebackers, and now Shelton out. So with the clock rolling, Wilkes is going to try to waste a little time. Quarterback draw. DeBoer can get by 1, but not the second.
To about the 25.
So that holding call on first down was huge on this possession.
You shoot yourselves in the foot, and this is not, again, quarterback with the lead blocker up front, trying to get a little bit more room. Now it brings up a big 3rd and 14.
And shocked if they try to throw it into the wind. It's getting stronger, going left to right on your screen. Let's see if Coach Drock goes conservative and just hand it off to Acker, or Tabora will keep it.
Well, Tabor has thrown for over 7,000 yards in his career, so.
118 through the air today. Tabora with time. Out on the one-on-one matchup, no flags. Great job again by Elijah Nemestein.
Great coverage. I mean, and that's a well-thrown ball. Got hung up a little bit. The receivers have to start coming back. They're kind of, I think, maybe spoiled, thinking that the ball always just drops in the hands. They've got to fight back for that ball.
Hermaeus turned into the defensive player because Demenstein might have had a pick 6.
That would have been his second possible interception today on the afternoon.
Esperito into kick into the wind. Yeah, the wind takes it and holds it back. Oh, it's going to stay on the Monarchs side and down at the Wilkes Colonel's 40-yard line. There you saw what the wind has done.
It really was. That was a prime example. More importantly right now, the team in red has a lot of momentum going their way right now. With 4:42 to go, they control their destiny.
They absolutely just down 3. Of course, Pollock has a long field goal of 39 yards this year. The wind will help him because it will be behind him if they get into field goal possession. So here comes Tyler Moore. The kicker is Priscavage and Tamonte for Kings. They messed up kickers. Hopefully the Monarchs might not need a kicker. Moore back. Pocket closes. He loses a yard. It will go down as a sack. Schneider with his first true sack of the season.
On this, and you'll see that Jesmer and Bud Moore didn't leave their linebacker areas, and they let the tight end come to them. They took away that receiver, and the Colonel's defensive line did a great job putting that pressure on without any blitzing.
Give it to Downs. See if he can get a block. He gains about 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and long on the way.
3rd down and long. 3rd and 10.
I think, here we go, just an outside zone play. Give it to the running back in the league. And again, the Colonels are doing a nice job picking that up and stopping it. I believe this would be 2-down territory. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, probably. Kings has to get about to the 25-yard line for Kyle Priscavage and Justin Tamonte. Tamonte in the year has a long field goal of 42 yards. On 3rd down. Hit the receiver over the middle, but the linebackers are right there. Up to the 35, 4th down on the way. Good tackle by Algier.
See this in here again. He's checking off. He's following him right up inside, just on the inside drag.
4th and 5.
Whitaker on the reception. Under 3 to play in the Mayor's Cup. Colonels look like they're going to send 4. Kings looking over. Just 7 on the play clock, and I think we'll get a timeout. We do. Coach Narr calls timeout, 2:40 on the clock.
For Kings.
And a big 4th down might be on the way. Well, let's say they don't make it, Coach. You have 2 timeouts left. Possibility of getting the ball back if you don't make it.
Extremely. I would have to give Kings credit to their defense. They have stopped Jose Tabor and the rest of the offense today. And I think they can do it with 2 timeouts because they would have to get a first down. And right now, Wilkes has struggled to get a first down. Right now we're looking at the offensive coordinator dialing up something special, maybe trying to do a hard count to make sure, maybe possibly call timeout.
So the 50th play of the game for Kings will be the biggest of the afternoon for either team. 4th down. Kings 2 for 2 on the afternoon on 4th downs. Do they have one more in them? They need a field goal to tie. Wilkes backs up, sending just 3. To the outside, and they hit Jordan Downs for a first down. When you need the chains to move, you hit your best player.
And again, on that one, I was surprised that they didn't cover him down out of the backfield when he went in motion. Looked like there was a little confusion with the linebackers there. Again, you knew they only needed 5. You got to cover those guys up.
Moyer was chasing from behind Jordan Downs. The drive keeps going. Almost in field goal range. Downs can't get anywhere. Jesmer, the sophomore, shoots in from the linebacker spot.
Cole Jesmer, we've been calling his name. He's gotten a little bit better as this game has gone on, and he's been making his name known on these tackles now.
Injured player down for Kings again. And it is Jordan Downs. Kings keeps losing their better players. Next man up mentality keeps working so far.
It has worked, but that's where the recruiting comes in, which is key, and they've done a tremendous job this year with this.
Coming right at you.
Coming at us again. Let's see what happens. Maybe it's just the way they fell and they rolled. I'm not sure. And again, that young man is a great running back.
He's a warrior. He's a leader on this team, and all the players look up to him.
And he's back in the huddle.
Well,
he's up.
He's got to sit out one play,
He's got to sit out one play. Mandatory.
Limping a little bit. Maybe when they rolled over on the tackle.
On that tackle.
So the loss of 2 brings up 2nd down. I would say Kings needs about 10 yards to be in field goal range with the win from behind.
Yeah. They have that going for them right now.
Monty's the long kicker. Four-man rush. Out of the backfield to Clark. Moyer on the tackle, but they're inside the 20.
It'll be a 3rd down and short coming up.
Quincy Clark coming in for the injured Jordan Downs, and they go right to him and does a nice job.
Yard short. Clark stays in. Moore with run. Room to run, and he picks up a first down to the 15.
Go out the 15. 1st and 10 Kings.
1:08 and counting.
About a minute to play in the ball game.
Another exciting Mayor's Cup coming down to the wire. Moyer out to Downs. Was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Snyder.
Pass is knocked down.
Downs had some running room out there.
He did. Derek Snyder, 6'3", 240-pound senior, gets a hand on that ball to knock that down.
15 of the Colonels.
Stops the clock. It allows now Kings to preserve one of their timeouts.
far, no rush. Picked off! Intercepted!
Cole
by
Jesmer.
Jesmer, who's on his horse. Picks up a block, and that should do it. Wilkes is getting back the Mayor's Cup on the pick six from sophomore Cole Jesmer.
I said earlier to you, Robert, that young man has really done a nice job in the terms of this. Look at this. He just steps right in front of that, read the quarterback's eyes, and he takes that to the house. He was looking. He got some great blocks. It looks a little gassed right now, but you know what? After you get a pick six, I don't think he minds that at all. And he's from Dover, Pennsylvania.
Well, needless to say, it might be the biggest interception of his life. Definitely his college career. He's only a sophomore. The seniors should be thanking him.
There are flags on the play. It'll be post-possession.
Well, there's some flags down. I believe maybe a celebration penalty. But let's talk about the pass. Maybe Moore shouldn't have thrown it in there. There was coverage all over the place.
And again, that time the linebackers did cover them down with the man-to-man coverage. They didn't allow that soft cushion.
Sideline interference, unsportsmanlike
Unsportsmanlike
conduct.
conduct penalty
On the
against
bench.
the Colonels.
It's
But the
good.
touchdown stands.
15 on the kickoff.
Looked like Kings was on the doorstep of either taking a lead or at least tying this one up. But the defense from Wilkes holds, get a pick six. Pollock, the PAT is up, and it is good.
Score with 30 seconds to play in the ball game.
30 seconds left in this game. A 10-point lead for Wilkes, who are trying to get the cup back for the first time in 3 years.
That last offensive series, I really thought the Monarchs were doing a great job. Time and ball control, going to take it down. And then if we could see a replay on that, I would like to see if they were just reading his eyes, if he telegraphed it too much or what happened.
Well, Moore, it looked like double coverage. Maybe Moore shouldn't have thrown it. He's trying to get something. But again, a sophomore who's played all season long.
Here's another angle of it. This is perfect. Now he telegraphed that, and there was a lot of white jerseys around. He was trying to force to the one receiver around 4 white jerseys. So, and they did a much better job. Like I said, there was a tighter coverage as compared to that soft cushion that they gave up 2 plays earlier.
95 yards officially, the pick six for the sophomore, who will be the heir apparent at that linebacker spot because Bud Moyer is going to be gone. They'll have Algier back, Jesmer back next year. They've played Jason Hampton a little bit, number 8, a freshman. So they lose Bud Moyer in the linebackers, but it looks like they have a couple good ones coming back for Jonathan Drock's team. 15-yard penalty for sidelines, as you heard. We'll put the ball at the 20 for the kickoff. Well, I talked to Jose Tabora and Bud Moyer in the middle of the week, early in the week, and they both said they wanted that cup back in their senior year. And it looks like they may have it.
Kings will have the football.
Kings has the ball now at the Colonels' 47-yard line. Down 2 scores, 24 seconds left. That's what they're trying to take home, Coach.
First and 10 Monarchs.
The Mayor's Cup.
Unfortunately, I've added, we were able to get it when I was at Wilkes and when I was at Kings, and it's always bitter when you have to give it up, and I can only imagine what's going through the seniors' minds on the Monarchs sideline right now after having it for 3 years in a row.
It'll be the 15th win in the series for the Colonels. 22nd overall. Tyler Moore. Big hit. Now this is where you don't want it to get out of hand. Werner put a big hit on Moore, and Moore's still standing. The ball came loose.
Well, I think
17 seconds left.
Looked like as he was rolling to his left, the ball did pop out of his hand.
Timeout on the field. Called by Kings. We talked about, too, Coach, about Kings being 0-3 when the opponent outgained them, and that's what's going to happen in today's game. Wilkes has 235 total yards. Kings 187 for now, at least.
Well,
so it could fall to 0-4 in that category. Waiting for the play clock, and 17 on the overall clock. And after the timeout, Kings back at it. Expect the unexpected in a game like this, and exactly what happened. Moore being chased. Throws it out of bounds. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
10.3 on the clock.
There's only a 3-man rush being produced there by the Colonels. They're playing their prevent. They're dropping 4 guys straight across 20 yards deep.
I'll give the Colonels a lot of credit. Kings came in averaging 342 yards per game. That was second in the MAC, and they've held this Monarch team to just under 200 yards right now.
That's a tremendous effort by their defense today.
Three-man rush. Moore gets it out.
Almost completed. Ringler.
It gets to Ringler, the senior.
Left of the game.
And Coach Narr is going to call timeout with 1 second left.
And Coach Strock just got dumped with an ice bath.
Timeout. King.
Well, Coach Strock came over from Hobart. 11 years there as the OC, a Western Michigan graduate. His second season, and he's going to take his team to a Centennial Bowl and end up 8-2. What a turnaround for the Colonels.
It really is, and that makes his life and his coaching staff's life a lot easier to try to get recruits coming up here to Wilkes-Barre to see their facilities. It's so much easier to say we're 8-2, possibly 9-2 when we won the Centennial Conference Championship. So, and again, Coach Narr's been doing this a long time. He knows the recruiting. Like I said, he's got recruits on the sideline right now, and he feels that this senior class really has done a good job, and it's going to be good for both Wilkes-Barre and these two schools.
Moore hit from behind. Hail Mary. Time expires, and that will do it.
The game. Wilkes University 24.
Wilkes University
14 in the
will get the Mayor's Cup back. They beat their rival from Kings. The final score 24-14. When we come back, we'll talk to the players of the game, and we'll have the trophy presentation here in Wilkes-Barre. One of the more exciting Mayor's Cup games in this history of this series. Wilkes on a late pick six defeats their rivals from Kings 24-14. They're going to have the presentations of the MVPs from both teams before they have the trophy presentation at midfield. And Coach, Kings was going in, and it looked like they were definitely in field goal range.
Minimum.
And they had an opportunity to win this game.
They really did, and then just a unfortunate mistake made by a quarterback with that kind of pressure put on them to win this game. And it produces an MVP for the Wilkes Colonels.
I
and
give the
Cole
Monarchs
Jesmer.
a lot of credit. They came in losing their 2 linebackers. They didn't even play. Then they lost their leading receiver, lost their interception leader. So, I mean, they did play really well.
They really did. And their secondary, I kept saying throughout the course of the game how well they were playing and how they were shutting them down.
In that 95-yard interception.
And as expected, one of the players of the game is Jesmer. Had the big pick 6 late in this game. Also had a nice day on tackles. Had
7 tackles.
Yep, 7 tackles.
2 for losses.
And Paul Grippy is down there with one of our players of the game.
I have Cole Jesmer, the Wilkes MVP of the game. Well, first of all, tell me about that interception in the 4th quarter.
You know, Coach Helder does a great job putting us in tough situations. That was just one of those tough situations we had to overcome. We overcome adversity every week. We knew what we had to do. It came down. He made the right call, and that was it. That's all we needed.
It's been 4 years since Wilkes beat Kings. What's it mean to beat Kings?
It means everything. I mean, this rivalry is huge. I mean, everyone's here. It's a huge turnout. I love it. I mean, it means the world.
All right, congratulations, Cole Jesmer. Yes, sir. Player of the game. We'll be back here in a moment, Bob.
There is the Mayor's Cup trophy to the senior class at Wilkes University. And they don't think they're happy about getting that. They are extremely happy.
I don't know what happened to Coach or Mayor George in there right now. He might be leading that chant in there.
I hope he got out.
I do too. That's a lot of enthusiasm around him.
Okay, Coach Drock with Paul.
Okay, Coach, so your first win in the Mayor's Cup game. Yep. What's it mean to you?
It's great. I mean, it's great for these kids. They've worked so hard and they put in so much effort. It's about them. They did it, not me. So I'm really, really proud of our effort. I think they did a great job of being resilient today, and I was really happy with the outcome, obviously.
It looked like momentum shifted in this game as the wind in your side of the field shifted too. Did it have a lot of effect on the game?
It's pretty windy today, and I think you're a little bit easier to move the ball when you were with the wind than it was against the wind. Plus, just overall field position. When you had to punt into that wind, it was pretty difficult to punt into that wind. So the field position game became really pretty critical throughout the course of the 3rd and 4th quarter.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations, and you still got one more game this season.
Thank you so much.
All right, great.
Okay, we'll see if Paul can catch up with Jose Tabora quickly or not. I'd like to hear from the senior if we get an opportunity. If not, we understand. He's looking for number 5 in there. And it's a big win for the senior class because, again, they never had touched it and had that Mayor's Cup in their hands.
And, again, that's just going to help them now prepare for Johns Hopkins this week. At practice, knowing that they got the Mayor's Cup back, that they went on the road.
And let's go down to Paul quickly with Tabora.
Okay, Bob, I have Jose Tabora, quarterback for Wilkes. Tell me, okay, you're still getting hit. Tell me about the momentum in this game. I mean, you guys had the momentum and Kings had it. How did it flow?
Back and forth game. Coming in the game, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. Crosstown rivals, they always bring the pain, and we knew it was going to be a dogfight, and I'm happy it came out our way. We put a lot of work for it, and I think we earned it.
Okay, now you've never won this Mayor's Cup. What's it mean to you in this senior class?
It means a lot. Like I said, we worked a lot. This is my 3rd crack at it, and I finally got it. Well, we finally got it. Thank God I have such a strong team behind me because they played their ass off today.
All right, congratulations. That was a terrific game. Bob, Jose Tabora, a player of the game.
Yep, and boy, he was the reason why they got those 2 touchdowns and that early lead, Jan. And a great player, going to be missed, but, overall, a big win for Wilkes.
It really is. And Coach, congratulations to Coach Drock and the rest of the Colonel staff. They're going to have to prepare. They're going to enjoy it tonight and tomorrow, and then they have back to work. And that's what these players and coaches want to do. They don't want the season to end.
So a great job by our crew again after we were up in Dallas last night. They come out, make an early morning of it, and they do another excellent job of covering the Mayor's Cup game. For Paul Grippy, for Jan Cechak, for our entire Fox 56 sports crew, we're going to take a nap now. This is Bob Hyde saying so long from Wilkes-Barre.